just had our second storm roll in here. We're about 45. All right, we'll try that again. We got our second storm rolling in here. We're about 45 minutes in or so. The temps dropped down quite a bit. I'd say at least 10 degrees. So we're just gonna chill out here. You can kind of see it over the background. We're just gonna wait, let it pass through. I see some clear skies way further back, so probably best just to hunker down because these wind gusts are pretty strong and it's gonna knock the camera over probably right now. Oh. Right there's a guy right above.
What is up, everyone? How are you all doing tonight? Once you guys could just give me a quick sound check with the microphone, now that I know that the video sound is good. So if I play something for you guys, I know it'll be legit sound. But let me know if the sound through the mic is piping out good. I have a ton of topics to get through tonight. I also have a very large can. I don't know how aggressively I'm going to drink tonight because I did train for over 5 hours today and I am so friggin' exhausted. So I might not booze it up super crazy, but I am drinking and we are going to talk some crypto. What's up, Sniff? How's it going? Sniff says sound is good. Twitch radio is chiming in with 100% right now. I've got my drinks and I hope you do too. I also have water just in case. But all right, on to the main topics. All right, so I'm going to go over the main topics in crypto, and then we're going to dive into each one a little bit deeper. So if you have questions, comments, anything like that, put them in the chats. I'll read it. I've got my setup over here. All right, Ripple Labs interested in bankrupt crypto lender Celsius. All right. Celsius has a ton of assets. Last time they did a check of their assets valuation-wise, they were at over 5 billion assets. It was like 4.5 or 5 billion assets. That was in July, I believe. So Ripple Labs, could they be doing something where they buy just XRP? Could they be buying all of Celsius out? Lots of things there to think about. And Dan Smiley brought up something with Polygon. Dan, hear me out, Dan, and hear me out, everyone else out there. We've got a tweet from Polygon, all right? Something massive is coming to accelerate mass adoption of Web3. Consumer finance will not be the same, soon to come. This is coming from the Polygon Matic team. My thing is this, all right? Crypto, the problem with crypto, over-promising and under-delivering. And I hope that's not what we're seeing with this Polygon Matic announcement. If you come out on Twitter and you're like, consumer finance will not be the same, look back soon, check back soon, then you better back it up with something big, all right? A month, 2 months from now, I want us to be able to look back and say, hey, you know what? What Polygon did was huge. But if 2 months, 3 months from now, we're like, oh, okay, I mean, that's kind of cool. It didn't really change things, revolutionize things. Then again, it's going to be over-promising and under-delivering, and that is a massive problem in the crypto verse. Joshua Velas here says, feels good to be here. Feels good to have you joining us. Thank you for joining us, Joshua. The next story, and again, we're going to go into further depth into all of these, so feel free to ask your questions below. Mark Cuban faces a class action lawsuit for promoting Voyager crypto products. He actually went out in front of the Dallas Mavericks season ticket holder group and was pitching Voyager. I mean, okay, so I get it. And just to throw it out there for everyone, I do not get paid by anyone outside of YouTube. All the reporting I do is on me. I don't do stories based on people paying me for them. Everything I do, it's all based on YouTube monetary wise. But anyways, Mark Cuban has got a ton of influence out there. Think of how much influence he gained just from Shark Tank, people wanting to be entrepreneurs, right? Juicy things like that. And then they see Mark Cuban and they're like, hey, this guy's smart. This guy makes a lot of money. Like, hey, this is great. You know, he's saying recommend Voyager. Well, he's getting hit now with a lawsuit. I think we're going to see a whole bunch of other massive, big influencers, people that have something to lose. I think you're going to see a lot of people go after those influencers because a lot of them did not disclose that they were getting paid by those people. Oh, interesting. All right, so now we've got an article that says no data found. That's not going to help me out, MSN. Oh, yeah, Hotbit. Oh, yes, Hotbit, everyone. All right, so let's not go into reader mode, all right? We won't do immersive reader. Hotbit halts trading activities on its platform. All right, Hotbit got in trouble. Someone on their platform was doing some nefarious activities. I know you guys on the show love your nefarious activities, all right? But someone at Hotbit was doing some nefarious activity. It was a former employee. So they came in and they shut them down. Now, what Hotbit then did was shut everything down, suspends withdrawals and trading activities. Very similar to what we've seen with Celsius, Voyager, 3 Arrows, and all those. So is Hotbit using this latest thing from law enforcement, right? Shutting them down, certain accounts now. Certain accounts that were tied to this bad person. Is Hotbit using that as a reason to say, hey, we're done and start filing for bankruptcy here soon? Could we have another one? The crypto contagion started in early May with the falling of Luna UST. It is now, 3 months later, and we're still dealing with this. So we're going to have quite a bit of crypto contagion, crypto hot potato left to go on. Oh, poop, everyone. Gas prices, all right? Gas prices going down, but they're still way higher than they should be. Food prices are going up, everyone. Yeah, okay, so inflation, that's what I got up on the screen. Now, this is the U.S. inflation rate. This is the big global number right here. You could see that our most recent data that just came out a few days ago was 8.5%. It beat the previous month of 9.1%, but everyone, 8.5% is historically freakishly high. Check this out. Zoom out to the 5-year. Now how sexy does 8.5% look? Oh, zoom out to the 10-year. Oh, still does not look that sexy, does it? Well, let's go to the 25. We're still not sexy with that 8.5%. So again, yes, when you look at it zoomed in, that 8.5 compared to 9.1, you're like, you know what? That's not bad. Maybe we've hit our peak. And that brings me to the poll. Have we hit the peak of inflation? I got a poll. Make sure you guys vote up on there. Now, what I think you're going to see is this. I think you're going to see like gasoline prices come down, but LNG prices start going through the roof, especially in Europe, which will then filter in and funnel into the United States. I also think you're going to see the price of food go up quite heavily here in the second half of the year because the fertilizer problem that's happened with the whole Russia-Ukraine thing, that takes some time for those supply chains to get affected. Well, that's going to be coming up about now. What else do we have? Oh, yes, I'm training because I'm going on a magical trip somewhere, a super magical trip. I'm going to be going to Colorado, getting lost in the wilderness. I'm going to be doing that here fairly soon. I don't know, in the next 3-6 weeks, something like that. I'll keep you guys all informed. The next thing, CFTC chairman claims the agency is ready for the possibility of regulating crypto. Now, we haven't heard much from the CFTC recently as compared to the SEC, right? The SEC has just been really, really rough with crypto. I mean, really rough. Now, CFTC has been really, really quiet, though, with crypto. It doesn't mean that they're going to be good with them. It just means they've been quiet while the SEC is, honestly, and a lot of us can say it, the SEC has been overreaching. So CFTC underreaching, SEC overreaching. So CFTC regulating crypto, is it a good thing? They haven't really shown us too much on what their stances and policies are, and they've been very, very quiet. Now remember, the Biden executive order had agencies like the CFTC and SEC and out there saying, hey, we want some reports on how to regulate it. We want to see what you guys would do. What are some of the concerns? These are all going to be due here, I believe, in the next 6 or 7 weeks. I think we're going to see that next. These reports come out. Another one, CFTC files charges against $12 million Bitcoin Ponzi scheme. So CFTC jumps in going after some Ponzi scheme with Bitcoin. Now, are they going after the Bitcoin directly, or are they going after it more because it's a Ponzi scheme? See, that's the kind of insight that we have to see and what we have to learn from the CFTC when they start telling us about their policies, what their plans are. And we're going to see that with the Biden executive order. FedEx chimed in. Hello, FedEx. How are you? We got Twitch Radio hitting it hard in the chat. And feel free to put a question, comment, anything you want in the chat. Oh, what else are we going to talk about? Ooh, Tornado Cash. A long time ago in a galaxy very, very far away, I told everyone about money tumbling and how freakishly illegal it was, and how that because it's unregulated, there's no KYC AML stuff going on with a lot of those, that it is just money laundering. They're using your clean money to tumble and launder dirty money. It's totally crazy. Well, what you have right now is you have Tornado Cash sanctions from the United States. Is it going to do anything, or is this going to start now the fork, the split of crypto, where we have people going, hey, you know what, we want full DeFi, or people are going to be like, you know what, we want DeFi, but we want some CeFi stuff kind of thrown into it too, right? A hybrid type model. FedEx says, inflation was 9.1 in June. Let's go that inflation sheet here. Yes, sir, it was June 2022. Inflation in the United States was 9.1%. Yes. So the market reacted positively these last few days with this 8.5. And again, if you have questions, feel free to ask them down below. No, in the chats, not down below. Jesus, Klaus, you're not doing a video. But what happens now is that we're looking at this 8.5 compared to 1. Yes, so it beat it. The last few days, we've seen some relief in prices because that inflation is better. But you guys, the big looming problem with inflation is this. Okay, so what happens when inflation goes out of control and our governments don't do anything to help us, right? The majority of these problems with inflation right now has to do with supply chain related issues. How do you fix supply chain related issues? Well, either the business can fix it by ramping up production, hiring people. Think of when ammunition, sorry, I'm just fixing my hoodie. Think about like when ammunition was starting to get scarce, right? These companies were working 7 days a week, 365 a year, right? They ramped up production, but you just can't do it right away. It takes some time. So these companies where they're ramping up production, that's one way of beating these supply squeezes. The other way is by the government out there changing and loosening regulations. I want you to think of the baby formula stories out there. The reason we had a shortage in the United States of baby formula was because of all the restrictions and regulations on it imposed by our government. And I got my two doggies hanging out with me down here. So anyways, what you look at now is because these costs are out of control, companies now have to do what, everyone? They have to make more money, right, to fight inflation, or they have to save money. Well, let's be real here. Very few people out there are going to be making more money, right? It's inflation. You think they're going to be paying people more now? No, they're going to start tightening their budget, right? So these companies are going to be cutting costs. When they cut costs, what's the first thing that companies do? It is payroll. Payroll is the #1 controllable cost for almost every business out there. Actually, it's like 99.999% businesses. So payroll, they start cutting payroll. Well, you start cutting payroll, what do you have then an increase of? Unemployment. So what we're going to see now is low unemployment numbers start ramping on up. As people become unemployed, what do they have less of, everyone? They have less cash to spend. Less cash to spend means they're not going to be going out as much, right, to the bars. They're not going to be going out to the movie theaters. I said bars first. And by the way, as I said bars first, let's all have a drink, everyone. Cheers, and thank you all for joining me on this live stream. So yeah, you've got people now that as like these businesses cut costs, unemployment goes up. Now, in fact, unemployment was just recently its highest since November of 2021. 9 months unemployment. And what's up, virtual? How are you doing? In unemployment, right? This is the highest we've seen it now in 9 months. So as these companies start cutting costs, right, and the first thing you're going to do is payroll reduction. Even if it's just cutting hours, it's less money that people are making. So as they start reducing it, you're going to see unemployment go up. As unemployment goes up, that's less available capital flowing into the markets. All right, so FedEx says, so with this few percentage of rate hikes, the inflation is going down. This is good news, I think. Well, the problem, FedEx, is this, okay? The problem is what you see on the screen right now, and thank you, Joel. I love your support, man. Thank you. But what you see on the screen right now is a broad measure of inflation, okay? That's not everything, all right? And what you have to think about is this. A large part of people out there were able to fight this first wave of inflation because you could see inflation really started ramping up in October 2021, really started going November, December, right? You guys see what I'm saying? People had a lot of leftover money in their savings because of the Rona pandemic. What happened was a bunch of people got stimmy checks. A bunch of people got unemployment that were making more than what they were for. Yes, I know there were people that were making less. I do understand that. But a lot of the people that got affected were making more. So a lot of people built up a savings. That savings got eaten up around this time period between October to April. Remember, people were still spending like crazy. You'd go into like Walmart stores and see like electronics still short on the shelves. I wanted to get an Xbox controller and I'm like, dude, I still can't freaking get a cool Xbox controller that I want. Special color scheme, but whatever. But the idea is that yes, this inflation number is broad spectrum. It doesn't measure everything. What about rent? Rent has gone through the roof, and rent is people's biggest bill out there typically. So as rent rates now just start going up, the price of gas goes up, the food and all that, you're going to have a lot more hurt. So FedEx, when you say, hey, it's good with the few rate hikes happening, the problem is this. The reason the rate hikes are kind of slowing this down is not because they're fixing the supply chain problem. They're fixing the demand problem, right? And that's the pain with the Fed. And that's the love-hate relationship we have with the Fed. Products work in one way. Supply and demand. If there's no demand for this product, the price goes down and eventually falls off the market. Zima, yes, everyone who doesn't love their malt beverages. But now, if demand for the product goes up, right, but the supply doesn't go up, then the price starts going up. So what the Fed can only do, the Fed cannot tackle manufacturing. The Fed cannot change laws and regulations. The Fed cannot tell businesses, hey, ignore this and this and this, crank up your production, we need to bring prices. The Fed cannot do any of that. That has to come from the government and it has to come from businesses. All the Fed can do is raise rates, lower rates. They could just F with rates, right? And add to their balance sheet. But what the Fed does with raising rates, all that does is it doesn't change the price of this. It changes how much money you have in your pocket. Because right now your money is going to hire this, this, and this. All right, so when the Fed raises rates, your credit card rates go up. Home equity lines of credit go up. Loans go up. Car loans go up, right? So a lot of these people are paying a lot more. I see Patriot 1 says, low food prices are over. Businesses won't reduce the price. No, and it's true, they won't reduce the price. You are seeing, okay, so a lot of industries during the Rona suffered that first part of it. It wasn't until the government started like influxing heavy amounts of money, stimmy checks and all that stuff, did businesses really start doing good. A lot of these businesses now are taking advantage of these prices and are totally passing it on to the consumer. Instead of eating the cost themselves, no, trust me, they are passing it all on down to you. So yeah, hitting up inflation. Thank you all for asking. So those are the big topics that we had for tonight. If you have any questions or comments, or if you want to do a cheers like I saw from Twitch Radio, actually from Twitch Radio I saw a cheers. Virtual gave us a proper cheers. So yep, let's do another one. Again, hit me up in the chats. What do you want to talk about? Patriotist 1 says, even in Albania, if you own a coffee shop, most products are 60% more expensive than a year ago. Some products even double the price, and that's going to continue. So even though the inflation data, right, the CPI data that we see from the Fed does not take into account a lot of things that we deal with right now, right? A lot of expenses that we deal with, okay? It's almost kind of like the difference between, and salute. Yes, thank you, Joseph, appreciate it. And thank you, Virtual. But even if, all right, let's just think about something in the United States, all right? You're a restaurant. Your food prices have gone through the roof, and that's your main expense outside of usually rent and payroll, right? So now your food goes up. Your delivery prices go up for your supplies, right? All your napkins, your thises, your that's, because the gas prices have gone up. Now you've got less people that want to go out, all right? Less people that want to go out because, hey, they have less money because all their bills are starting to go up. They have credit card debt. home equity lines of credit. Maybe they're like, hey, we have to buy a car in the next 4 or 5 months. We have to budget for it, but the rates are going to be 2-3% higher. So you're going to see lots more pain from us, from the people, right? Main Street versus Wall Street when it comes to how inflation hits us. This broad spectrum stuff right here, this is just one report. It's not completely how it affects us as people. Crypto Roger says, XRP. I did an XRP story. Actually, it was my first one of the night. It was Ripple Labs interested in bankrupt crypto lender Celsius's assets. This is freaking huge. This is huge. And thank you, Crypto Roger, for bringing that up. And Stan FC, don't worry, I see your comment. I'm going to get to you. But Ripple Labs being interested. So in order for them to see what assets Celsius had, they actually had to go through the court for this. And the court actually granted them approval to be part of the bankruptcy proceedings. That's big because even if, all right, XRP, Ripple Labs, does not buy anything, the amount of data that they are exposed to is huge. Huge amounts. Think of the business practices that they'll get to see. Now, it all depends on how much they open it up. But think, if you are Ripple and you're out there and you're like, you know what, let me take a jab at it. Let me do this. Let me take a jab at all of Celsius's assets. What would that really run me? You would get to see everything on their books. That's crazy. So very interesting to see that Ripple Labs is interested in Celsius. I have been following Celsius from day one since they locked people out of their accounts on June 12th. I broke the story. It was June 13th. It was early in the morning. Really interesting story. Let's see. Stan FC says Stellar is way ahead of the game. Stellar is doing some really, really good things, everyone. But there is a problem though that Stellar is having, and I'm gonna show you guys here really quick. So what we're gonna do first, we're gonna go on over to Stellar Expert. All right, and here is the problem with Stellar. Got it up on the screen. We're gonna go to Stellar Expert, and we're gonna put in USDC, because remember to use USDC, right? Okay, you guys get my point. We're not new here. But okay, so I've got USDC up on the screen, and you can see the one from center, all right, the mass number of payments. Then now look at all the other different versions of USDC. So the big problem with Stellar, and I could keep scrolling on, you could even keep going, you can go on for pages. The problem with Stellar is this: great technology, great at moving money, but because they are an open source, right? Their code is open source. They are prime for scammers, schemes, fakes, and all sorts of sly stuff. It reminds me of Pokemon cards. I have 2 Pokemon cards right here. All right. I don't know how well you can see them, but this one is fake. This one is real. They both say Pokemon. They both got the logo on it. They both, they could fool. If you're untrained at Pokemon cards, you could probably get fooled from this, you could probably get fooled from this side, but not fooled from this side here, because this one you could tell is super janky. But Pokemon cards, think about it, right? Same name and all that. Think of how many people get fooled with fake Pokemon cards. How many people get fooled with fake USDC? Well, a lot of people got busted with fake USDC. Think about this one. This one was a MoneyGram one. Had 530,000 payments. That's just freaking crazy. Just crazy. So Stellar does have some amazing products, amazing mission, some amazing technology stuff. But with the problem with open source coding is you're gonna fall victim to scam schemes and fake Pokemon cards. Twitch Radio chimes in. I love crypto, but sometimes you got to look at what's going on the other side of the fence, especially why and when the markets are down. Oh, yeah. No, Twitch, you got a really good point here. Okay, so let's role play, everyone. All right? And if I have, I almost said something really bad. I'm glad I didn't. But let's role play. You guys ready? All right, so here is our role play for everyone. And hold off on the chats real quick, because I want to see everyone's answers on what you would do, and I want you to look at everyone else on the chat. All right, and I'll even tell you what I would do, okay? So let's all pretend that we had $100,000, all right? So if you had you only can use this money to invest. You could invest in anything, though. You could buy Pokemon cards, anything with the idea that whatever you're going to buy is going to make you more money, okay? If you had $100,000 right now and you were forced to invest it, where would you put that $100,000 to get the biggest return? Where would you put that money if you wanted the biggest return, say, in the next year, 2 years? All right, so what I want to see is I want to see what you guys are writing as answers. If you had 100,000 right now just to invest, what would you invest in? I'll tell you what I would invest it in. Real estate is still super expensive. So if I had 100,000 right now, I would buy a business that is struggling. I would buy a business that is next to being defunct, next to just going to crap, but something that I knew I could turn around with proper cost control and so forth. And I would buy a distressed asset because I would use it to turn a cash flow in. That's what I would do if I had a spare 100,000. Or honestly, I would buy land and I would build a home on that land, like a modular home, and I would rent it out for $1,500 a month and have cash flow right there. So let me know, what would you do with $100,000? All right, now back to the chats to catch up with you guys. And I just saw Twitch Radio said he's looking into agriculture. What kind of agriculture there, Cheech? All right. Doggies. Sorry, my doggy security detectors let me know when something's going on. Give me 1 second. Let me just get them quiet here because normally there's no one outside. Hey, guys, are you okay? All right. No. Hold on. Let me see. Make sure no one's at the door. You guys okay? All right, good. Good job, guys. Sorry. Neighbor getting... You guys, stop. Sorry, neighbor's getting a delivery. So, but anyways, all right, so back to the questions. Joseph Vene says, anyone notice synchronization of ETH 2.0, Flare connecting everything, ISO 20,000, and culminating more in the next few months? The only problem, Joseph, is ISO, they delayed implementation for quite a few people. And the other issue, too, is that with ETH, we're seeing a total split off. You're seeing the POS and POW teams kind of totally go their different directions. Very interesting story with that, but I am glad you brought that up. Let's see. Patriotist says gasoline price for diesel was $2.60 here, and now it's $2.05. So we do have some recovery, but in the long run, gasoline prices are going up. And Patriotist, you are completely right. That is the big problem. Okay, so gasoline by me is $3.29. But you guys, like, I was paying way less a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I mean, way, way, way less. I was paying way less 6 months ago. So, yeah, gasoline is still way the F up there. FedEx says Stellar has a commercial video. And in the video, you can see people protesting outside of a bank. This day, you can see the same protests in China banks. No, you can see that. And it was actually really interesting about that. Yeah, I know the dogs are freaking out here. They obviously want to play. It's crazy. But yeah, and that's my whole thing with Stellar. Stellar has great use case, a great market to go after. They're just with open source coding, they're going to run into the problems of scams and schemes. Yeah. Oh, Joseph says beer break. Well, thank you, Joseph, for bringing that up. I have the tall big kid can right here. Hey, you guys, stop. I'm sure they can hear you. All right. Let's see. Yoki J says proof of stake is still old news. Ethereum is always behind the curve when compared to other crypto. That's the other problem with Ethereum, okay? Ethereum's other problem is that they are so big, it's like steering the Titanic. I want you to think of two cars, all right? You and I, we're going to go to a racetrack. We're going to, the squiggly line racetrack, not drag racing or anything like that. You're going to bring a 78 Cadillac. Okay, we're going to give you a big block in it. I'm going to bring an all-wheel drive Subaru STI. Okay, just throwing it out there. WRX STI, not the wagon either. We're going to go sedan, all right? So who do you think is going to win, right? That big boat is going to be so hard to steer on the turns, it has to steer slowly. That is exactly one of the big problems that Ethereum has. It's so big that for it to pivot, it is so hard to do. Where like a nimble, smaller thing can get around, can move, and that's kind of one of the big issues with Ethereum. So thank you very much, Yoki J, for bringing that up. Sniff chimed in and did the right thing here. All right. Sniff says 30K in USDC yield, 25K in Bitcoin, 25K in ETH, 10 in Hex, and 10 in Atom. And if you guys don't know, what we're doing is we're playing a game. If you had $100,000 to invest now to make the most in the next 2 years, if you could invest it in any asset, you could buy Pokemon cards, you could buy luxury vehicles and think you're going to flip them in a year or two, baseball cards, it doesn't matter, real estate, whatever you want. What would you spend $100,000 on right now to invest if you wanted the best gain the next year or 2 years? So, hammer meat nail Klaus. Yeah, the thing is this. The problem with Ethereum, and I'll say it again, is that Ethereum, it's hard to pivot. And the bigger something is, the harder it is to steer, the harder it is to innovate, the harder it is to get adoption. It's very tough with Ethereum. Patriotist says, $1,000 now to invest. Should I buy XRP or Bitcoin? Depends on your time frame, Patriotist, and here's why. I don't know if you're going to see much movement in XRP until the court case gets done. I just don't know if that's what you're going to see. All right. I don't get me wrong. Now, in the long run, I do believe XRP has way more upside. Got to be honest with you. I think XRP has way more upside, all right, than Bitcoin. But the problem with XRP is this. For it to really do crazy stuff, the court case has to get out of the way. That's just the whole thing. And we don't know yet if it's going to take a year. You've heard people say, oh, it's going to be done in 2022. I don't see how that's going to happen unless they settle. But if they go through the full court proceedings, you've seen the SEC delays and drags their feet with every chance they can get. Every chance they're giving a 5-7 day delay. They could do this for another year plus easily if they wanted to. So that would be my only thing with XRP is in the long run, I think they've got way more upside than Bitcoin. But the problem is that court case near term will hold them back. Let's see. Patriotist says, I missed the $900 Ethereum price. Twitch, I did not participate in the Ethereum. I honestly did not. It's just... I don't know, just not my bag. Twitch Radio chimes in, these big companies are buying up all the water rights, and that way I don't want to lose out on having some of those rights too. Yes. What's his name? Bill Gates, right? One of the biggest private owners of farms in the United States. I think he might even be the biggest private landowner farming-wise in the United States. Sniff says, I heard George say that when ETH merger happens, 90% of unsold ETH will be taken off the market. Yeah, I kind of wonder about how they're going to do that when the ETH thing rolls out. See, that's the other thing too. All right, so the XRP case versus SEC is really big for the entire crypto market. You guys all understand that, right? And gals, if we have any gals listening here. Hey, doggies, stop. Go play somewhere else. Here, I'm going to throw your ball. It's probably going to hit something, but go after it. Go get it. But anyways, back to the XRP SEC case. That has big implications, right, for the whole crypto community. But so does the whole Ethereum project. What do you think is going to happen to crypto? If when we get closer, I think they said September 15th, 17th, 19th, somewhere in that time frame. What if we get closer to September 15th, 17th, 19th, whatever they pick, and they're like, hey, you know what? We got to delay it another month or two. And they push it back. That could be a problem. That could definitely rock the markets a little bit. So just like how Ripple Labs SEC case has a pivotal overall effect on crypto, you're going to see the same thing with Ethereum and their merge. If they have to delay it, I could easily see some short-term waves being knocked through the market. Now, if they keep delaying it, holy crap, that would be a mess. Doggies, why are you doing this? It's like they know I'm on camera, guys. It's crazy. If any of you guys have dogs out there, hey, stop. They're just pains, and they know I'm recording. This is why I normally lock the door. And you know what? Let me do it. Let me lock the door, and then they're going to scratch and knock on it and pound it. Come on, guys. Let's go outside. Not outside, but go out. Come on, Leia, go, sweetie. Go. All right, go fight out there. All right, sorry about that. The dogs are just being a little bit too much. Back onto the comments. Sniff says, I'm sold on Hex. Hearing Richard Hart talk about his fundamentals wooed me. Thank you for sharing that, Sniff. I'm going to have to catch that with what he said. Patriot says, I would love to see XRP in the 3 to 4 range. Okay, so let's talk about XRP getting into the 3 to 4 range, and then we're going to swing over to some XLM stuff, all right? So XRP 3 to 4 range, all right? And let's just put up a big chart on XRP. So let's go over here. It's in my frequents because that's just how we do things. All right, so let's blow this bad boy out to 5 years, all right? So let's just take a look at that, and let's just take a last 2 years, all right? So XRP, $3 to $4. Realistically speaking, when we start zooming out, we have to think, hey, you either got in early when, you know, things were great and stuff was being listed and all that kind of fun stuff, or we got to get the court case to clear out. Or XRP has to be used for some crazy clearing system that is massively adopted. Mass adoption. There we go. So yeah, XRP, Patriotist 1, to see that in the $3 to $4 range, man, we're going to have to see something massive. Think of all the news that happened all throughout here. And yet nothing really was able to bring it up that high with XRP. So we're going to have to see that court case go on or some massive, massive adoption of a program that they have. Joel says, I think our government is more friendly with XLM. That's in my moving crypto with that crypto class now. Yeah, you know what? I do see that. Okay, I'm just going to throw this out there. You guys want to get a little weird? All right, let's get a little weird. Okay, I'm a big XLM bull. I've even got my hat right over here. See, got my Stellar hat. I'll wear it just for a little bit. But I'm a huge XLM bull. I really dig their culture, their community. I really think they do a great job. They have been in front of Congress. They've been doing that stuff. Denell Dixon has been talking to the right people. All very impressive to see. The thing is that do you also notice too how Jed seems untouchable? This dude dumps billions and billions and billions of XRP on the market. And no one goes after him as someone dealing securities, unregistered securities. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. So think of the amount of XRP that he dumped on the market recently, and no one's touched him. I don't know. So XLM, Stellar, they definitely have some untouchable qualities to them. They definitely got the Teflon on. They don't seem to be touchable. All right, on to the next one. Some crypto investors don't trust XRP because it has a reputation of being a company. Yes, that is very, very true because a lot of people don't like the idea that the greed part of it, right? The greed, and not only the greed, but culture. Some companies, all right, and I'm going to mention one, all right, and I'm going to see if I can take you guys back into memory lane. And hopefully you're enjoying this stream. Hopefully I'm providing some value to you. I'm providing some value to my my liver with this liquor. So let's do a quick cheers, and then we're going to start talking about why XRP is a business, the scary stuff behind it. All right, and cheers to everyone out there. All right, so Joseph says, Ripple is a company that uses XRP. We too can use XRP in our own pools. My guess is I want passive income with it. I could see that, yeah. I get the idea of passive income with stuff like that and the on-demand liquidity pools. Now, when we start, Patriotist chimes in, says, some crypto investors don't trust XRP. That's what I wanted to talk about because of a reputation being a company. All right, here you go. For those of you that lived in the United States, let's go back to memory lane, all right? Gray and red colors, okay? A little bit of white thrown in there. You could buy a 40-inch TV, biggest on the market at the time. You could even, yes, bring your PC there if you wanted to. But you can't do it anymore because they are closed. Circuit City. Circuit City, everyone. Yeah, so you guys remember Circuit City. Did any of you guys shop at Circuit City? Anyways, Circuit City was a company that they started running into some financial problems. And they were a publicly traded company. And the problem with them was they started losing money as a company. Upper management, right? If you're a publicly traded company, right? A business, like a stock market where you yield to the shareholders. Publicly traded companies, and this kind of ties into Ripple too and what people's fears are, businesses versus non-businesses in crypto. There's a parallel here. The problem is with Circuit City is that senior management said, hey, in order to save money, we're going to cut costs by letting go of our most expensive employees. We're going to run this company on base, cheap employees, and that's it. Well, okay, so it saved them money in the short term, but the problem is, in the long run, they went bankrupt. And the reason they went bankrupt, because they had no good staff anymore. They let go of everyone there that had, massive tenure. They let go of people that were experts in their field, people that, maybe had degrees and stuff like that. Circuit City let a lot of good people go. Their customer service went down. In the meantime, Best Buy started going up with their customer service and their product offering. You had Amazon, Walmart.com kind of starting to offer more products. So what happened was with Circuit City, because it was kind of just so profit driven, it ruined itself. It completely ruined itself. So just something to think about. Let's see. FedEx says, cheers. Well, thank you, FedEx. Vegan to Baby Justin says, are you already feeling it, bro? No, I kid you not. Okay, so earlier today, this is my first drink, swear to God. Earlier today, I trained for 5 hours straight. Well, technically 5 hours and 25 minutes. For those of you that don't know, I go out way into the stupid shit out there. Like, I do dumb stuff. Like, my doggy and I, we travel, we go to big adventures and stuff like that. Like, I love adventure travel and I love stupid stuff. And I fell here. Like, I was doing this last year. This is the traverse up to Cooper Lake. I actually fell here. The ground gave below from under me. So I'm big into training, big into hiking and all that kind of stuff. So I'm training now. I train for 5 hours and 25 minutes today. And anyways, long story short, I am feeling it because I did hardcore training in the heat. I did it from 9 this morning to just before 2:30. So yeah, 5 hours, 25 minutes straight. So no, I'm not feeling the booze. I'm feeling the fact that like I've just been kicking my own ass, getting ready for my next trip to Colorado. Let's see. Oh, and Joseph Bene says, liking the channel, very good value. Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate that, sir. Joseph also says, also good to drink with someone. My wife's preggers again Friday night, and I'm hanging with Klaus. Oh, no. But congratulations to Joseph, everyone. Give Joseph a big shout out. Joseph's wife is expecting, which means she can't drink, but we all can drink with Joseph. So to celebrate Joseph's wife, and thank you for sharing that with the channel, sir, we are going to give a nice cheers for Joseph and his wife and his new addition to their family. Future new addition to the family. All right, back to the comments. Virtual chimes in. And what's up, Virtual? How are you, sir? Virtual says Circuit City was great. Yeah, I'm telling you. Circuit City, even Joel is saying, I bought my first LCD projector TV from Circuit City. I told you, Guten Abend. Ooh, look at James coming in with the German. Ooh, thank you, James. I appreciate that. You could also use French. I do speak French, so just throwing it out there for everyone. But yeah, Circuit City, I'm telling you, that's the big fear that we have with crypto. So when you have these like more decentralized projects, okay, where there's maybe more community support, stuff like that, think of Stellar's a good example. Open chain, non-for-profit. Greed is never going to be Stellar's problem. Now, it could be a person that works in Stellar's problem, but it won't be Stellar's cultural problem. Where, you know, it's true, Ripple Labs, if they're so if they're so greedy and profit driven, they could make a short-term mistake with overweighing something on speculation. All right, think of greed. You guys want to see a good example of greed? Let's take it from Circuit City and let's take it to Virtual Unknown's favorite person, Michael Saylor. What did Michael Saylor do? Michael Saylor took MicroStrategy's thing. They put all their money into Bitcoin. Yeah, that's actually the best example of it. He screwed the company's profits by being so greedy into something that it actually hurt his company in the short run, heavily hurt his company, and heavily hurt him in the short run. Virtual says Circuit City was paying people to leave the building with electronics due to bad price matches. Sniff says, I hope you bring a gun out with you out there. I'm seeing a lot of bear attack videos on YouTube. Yes, I do. I bring a high capacity 9 with me. Now, I know what you guys are going to say. Oh, Klaus, it's not going to knock down a bear. It's not that it knocks down a bear, but the majority of bears that you will see where I go in the San Juan Mountains, where you have no help of rescue or anything like that, those bears, they will run from you. They'll actually run most of them from you screaming and yelling at them and waving your arms like this. Don't do that to a grizzly. They will maul the shit out of you. Black bears, you can do that, and that's mostly what you see in Colorado. But yes, Sniff, I do pack 21 in a clip and 1 in the chamber. So hey, I'm very well prepared for when I'm out in nature. And Joseph says, thanks, brother. Thank you. No, thank you, Joseph, for chiming in. Enjoy, Joseph, you hang out with us a lot on the streams, and I see your comments too. So thank you for being here. Virtual says, cheers, I'm good. Asking how you all are doing. Oh, God. Twitch, did you just screw down? Screw down. Jesus fucking Christ, you guys. Yeah, FedEx says, Joseph, enjoy your sleeping hours. I can't talk because I train so freaking hard. But anyways, Twitch Radio says, I miss Radio Shack. Have you all been watching the crap with Radio Shack? No, I know this was about a month ago. They just went crazy on their Twitter account. Thank you, Sniff. I appreciate that. And I will get to your question super soon. Before I forget what I'm talking about with Radio Shack. Radio Shack, all right? The company now is turning into like a crypto company. I kid you not. So when you see all of these crazy things out there with Radio Shack, all they're trying to do is just garner attention for their crypto project release. Radio Shack is not Radio Shack what you think anymore. Radio Shack that exists right now is stores that are like kind of like sub-selling of Radio Shack products. So just throwing it out there. Twitch says, I like my SIG 40. Well, the thing is this. I do have a totally tricked out 1911 extended single stack 45 ACP with a nasty compensator on it. Love it. The problem is it is way too heavy because when I hike, I have to keep all my gear weight down. I go extremely remote and I go off trail, which I know they tell you not to do, but I am certified. I am trained in search and rescue, so I at least know how to get lost better than most people. So, and thank you, Sniff, for the $2 donation. I am going to answer your question right now. Sniff says, do you box, wrestle, or do any other combat sports? I used to wrestle a lot. Boxing, yes, I have been trained in boxing. I am also trained in grappling on top of wrestling. I went to military school for quite a few years, and we had a kid there that was a youth Golden Gloves boxer. Kid was freaking short kid from Alabama. Well, anyways, he taught us all this kind of stuff. And in military school, that was kind of one of the things they promoted was the idea of you know, being resourceful, working with your team. So when we would train in the gym together, we'd put the pads on and knock the crap out of each other. And then after that, I did a lot of bodybuilding, a lot of heavy power training, and yeah, so we got wrestling, we got boxing, some grappling. Yeah, I can mix it up a little bit, but I'd rather not. I'd rather go hike in the middle of nowhere. So my training is extremely deep in like, I train very much as if the military does. I'm starting to do calorie deprivation now, minus this, you guys. I'm breaking some of my rules, but I'm starting to do calorie deprivation, sleep deprivation, and heat training. So like today I did my heat training and it just beat the crap out of me. It was freaking rough. That's why I'm talking like an idiot. This is my first drink and I'm just sipping it and I'm already slurring because I swear to God, my body was just dead. So thank you, Sniff, for that. And I know Sniff's also a dog person, so shout out to all the dog lovers out there. Patriotisk 1 says Bitcoin 468 billion market cap, Ethereum is 238. Will we see Ethereum become the top crypto? All right, Patriotist, and for all of those of you that are watching out there, the recent movement in price for Ethereum. All right, let's just look at Ethereum real quick here. So let's go to this. Let's go to this. We're going to bring this in. We're going to go up here. We're going to look at Ethereum. Where's Ethereum? Okay. So look at this recent rise in Ethereum, all right? This movement right here, okay? Look at this rise. How much of this rise that you see is based upon people pricing in the merge ahead of time? All right? Do you think we're going to be lucky enough as a buying group, right? And us, like crypto asset buying groups. Do you think we're going to be lucky enough to see now even more price action after the ETH 2.0 whole idea that goes on? I don't know. That's kind of something I always, the phrase out there was always this: buy the rumor, sell the news. And that's kind of what I'm wondering right now, is if all this buying, this rebound buying that we've seen here has been buying the rumor of the merge. And when the merge happens, do we see another correction? Or do the markets get greedy and go even further with ETH? And that's then when we start seeing the ETH start changing when it comes to market cap. So interesting thing to think about. I just don't know if we could see another run from, you know, this 1,000 mark to 1950. I don't think we could see it go to 4 again. That'd be so hard to see because look, I mean, these were the big boy numbers that happened when things were great in October, November, December, right? These are not the same economic conditions. So I don't see it overturning Bitcoin. Not right now. I just can't see that. Twitch Radio says, wait, what? Seriously? Go get you one of those nice Hellcats. Those are pretty nice. Yeah, Twitch, I'll send you a picture later. I got some really cool... Does anyone know what the terms of service are for showing guns on a live stream? Because I could show you guys some really freakishly cool stuff here. But yeah, Twitch, I'll send you a picture. I got a custom-made anti-material rifle that I built. Really, really cool. I'll send you a picture of it when I get off the stream. Just remind me, text me, and I'll send you a picture of it. Sniff says, our drill sergeants used to let us fight each other on Sundays after we buffed the floors. That was in 99. So, Sniff, you're not much older than I am, if not very similar in age. Yeah, so military school is very interesting. I went to military school as a kid, and I can tell you this, and I lived at school. This was not you go home, you just wear your uniform kind of Nancy crap. This was nasty, nasty crap. My first night of going there, I got to go to military school when I was a freshman, and I went there 2.5 weeks early for sports camp. I was always good at soccer, and they would let the athletes come a few weeks early and train. My first night, I got the piss kicked out of me from a whole slew of seniors. I mean, taped to the bed, beaten. I mean, like beaten bad. And I remember the second time that they came around was a few days later. I got one of them really good. I was really happy, but then they kicked the crap out of me anyways. Well, long story short, what happened was they saw that actually I was able to actually play soccer. I was really, really good at it, and made varsity as a freshman, and then they all left me alone, which was really, really nice. But yeah, military school was rough, man. I had to learn how to handle myself. A lot of people there were gangs. A ton of people there. We would have gang fights and race fights all the time in school. In fact, the school that I went to, one of the schools that I went to, had a massive lawsuit against it because of all the hazing that we did. You know, like when you would, for those of you guys that aren't familiar with how the military works, there's a thing where you get your boards, right? Where you have nothing on your shoulders, and then you at least get your boards, right? Before you're even a private, and that's how it works in military school. Well, when you get your boards, you kind of go through this hazing ceremony, and we used to just pound the shit out of these kids. I mean, just pound them. I mean, bad. So yeah, just that's my background. But I'm a really nice, calm person. But yeah, thank you, Sniff, for the donation. I learned that way. I always played sports my whole life. I've always been big into combat sports, Krav Maga, stuff like that. I love that kind of stuff. But now I spend a lot of my time hiking. John Niner says, I believe the SEC will settle. They don't want to have certain information which would discredit them out again. You know, I kind of wonder about that, John. And you all please do that. Let me know. Do you think that the SEC will settle? And if they do settle, what would it be? I mean, think about that. What would it be? Because if you're going to settle, someone has to get something from each side. And the way the SEC has been acting, they think they're going to get it all, right? The SEC is like, oh, we're going to beat you. Same thing with all the senators and Congress people out there just saying, hey, XRP is a security. Dude, you don't even know if it's defamation yet because it hasn't even been proven yet in the case. So I don't know. In terms of settling, it'd be interesting. Let's put it this way. If we see the case get even worse, where the SEC now is not only dragging their feet, but maybe making not procedural mistakes, but making mistakes where even casual viewers out there are going to be like, dude, that is an overreach, right? Where the public starts seeing it, not the crypto public, not us, but the general public starts hearing about, whoa, the SEC is doing what? Like the business public. I think if the SEC does some overreaches, then they'll want to settle. But right now, what we're seeing from the SEC is they are on you like sharks, man. The SEC has just been overreaching left and right. So as much as I would like to see them settle, I just don't know if I could see it. Joel says, trillions coming to crypto, trillions. I'm reading good things are coming to crypto for the next 6 to 12 months. BlackRock is just the beginning. Hey, Joel, thank you for bringing up the BlackRock, dude. That is very cool of you. I appreciate it. BlackRock is big, all right? So BlackRock partnered with Coinbase. All right. So they partnered with Coinbase and they're offering crypto, Bitcoin specifically, direct Bitcoin exposure, maintenance. You could do whatever you want it direct. Okay. We're not talking through an ETF, none of that, but they're going to be offering institutional level investors through Aladdin, right? BlackRock, to allow institutional level investors to buy, sell, trade Bitcoin, direct exposure to Bitcoin on an institutional level. And that's BlackRock and Coinbase. So as much as we're hearing the SEC going after Coinbase recently, Coinbase has some very, very powerful friends. And the likes of a company like BlackRock working with Aladdin and Coinbase, yeah, I kind of think that a lot of the fudge you're seeing in the news about Coinbase is exactly just that. Because with BlackRock on your side, I think you're going to be doing all right. Let's see. We got back to the comments. Ooh, boy. Twitch Radio says, I believe the staking rewards will pay for it in the end if the prices go up and maintains. Yeah, if the staking rewards can sustain itself, I see that. But that would be the other thing, too, is also how many people... Okay, let's pretend you've just got, 100% of people Ethereum pre-merge. How many of those people are going to go, a proof of work, proof of stake? How many people are going to do that? I don't think you're going to get 100%, so you're instantly going to lose some of the market. Now, by switching protocols, though, You're also going to be gaining a lot of people that are like, well, you're not as much of an energy hog as you were before. So it now may bring more business in, but you're definitely starting to see like the miners out there. The miners are digging their heels in going, no, we're going to keep doing our thing this way. Now, institutional level money, USDC said they're going to support post merge with Ethereum. So something to think about. Institutional level money is supporting it, but you're still going to see some people want to believe in the old system. People do not like change. Mark my words. People do not like change. Even if it's change in a good way, they do not like change. Patriotist chimes in and says, I did boxing in childhood and had a few pro MMA fights as an adult. Oh, nice. But I don't rate my fighting ability high anyway. Better be humble. Yes, I'm the same way. I approach everything out there as if that person is level 9 going to destroy me. That is honestly, I'd rather just be nice to people and stuff like that. So I totally see where you're coming from on that. Patriots, you and I have chewed a lot of the same dirt, my good man. Joseph chimes in, I will entertain that SEC will force Ripple to sell XRP to nations to run their own XRP nodes. Ooh, utility with their CBDCs as part of a settlement so Ripple can't have so much XRP. So it would almost be kind of like saying, hey, you know, okay, yeah, Joseph, I'm glad you brought that up because that's what I was wondering. See, okay, earlier in the streaming, and if you guys missed it, don't worry. Everything you see in this video, it's going to go in the live stream folder. So if you want to see the beginning where I did a recap on all the big events, you can go follow the video in the live stream folder. And make sure you hit that like button, share this with people. We got to get it out there because I know that the algorithms do not support this channel. I can tell you that right now they don't. I've been watching the analytics. But anyways, Ripple Labs interested in buying a bankrupt crypto lender Celsius. Do you think that maybe Ripple would want to buy more XRP so that they would own more XRP themselves, that they would start buying it back from the public? Kind of something I've been thinking about here is that with the SEC XRP whole thing, what if Ripple says, hey, you know what, we're going to start buying back all the XRP from people. And they start off with buying Celsius. There's a bunch of XRP in Celsius's system. There is a bunch of it held by the Celsius network. A bunch of it is in there. That would be a good way to start. Or do they want to buy it for pennies to the dollar and use it for ODL and make even more money? Because think about that. What if they could buy these assets penny to the dollar, sell it for, they'd be making bank right away. Oh, but would that piss off the SEC though? Holy crap, especially during a court case. That would be rough, but man, I would love to see Ripple Labs do something ballsy like that. And let's get a quick cheers in. I want to say thank you everyone for watching. We're going to keep going here. Again, if you got questions, comments, a topic you want to cover, if you want to talk about fake Pokemon cards, I will gladly do that. But let's do a quick cheers, everyone. All right. Let's see. Twitch Radio says, me and you backpacking trip, Mount Rainier 2024. I like the sounds of that because my 2023 for hiking is already booked. Actually, no, that's not true. I could fit it in 2023. But dude, I've heard a lot of good things about Mount Rainier. I've never gone that way. I've stuck in Colorado. Love Colorado hiking out there. I love getting lost. Sniff says, I think the kings of the earth are going to turn on the rabbis. This mentioned in Revelation 17. You know, the thing, Sniff, that has me kind of wondering is, have you noticed how quiet the news reporting has been about the Middle East? There's a lot of problems going on in the Middle East. They're having bread famines. They're having rolling blackouts, which are worse than ever. But do you notice how the news isn't covering that, Sniff? Just throwing it out there. And then the reason I bring up the news is because, and for Sniff is we've talked about this a little bit, but the problem is they're not covering it. They're picking other stories to cover. All right, just keep that in mind. All right, let's see. Raise 3 RP XRP. Geez, Raise, man, that's a hard one for me to say. Says whatever you can think of, Ripple has it covered. And that's kind of what I'm wondering right now, Raise. I'm going to call you Raise just because otherwise I'm going to butcher your name, dude, and I don't mean to. So, but yeah, I'm kind of thinking that too. So what do you guys think Ripple Labs' point is in getting involved with the bankruptcy proceedings of Celsius? Celsius at its peak had like $17 billion worth of assets, everyone, on their books. They only have $167 million cash on hand, less now that they've been going through bankruptcy proceedings. But think about that. What would they want to do there? Would Ripple Labs benefit from buying all of Celsius? Dude, if they bought all of Celsius, that'd be freaking nuts. But the problem I got though is why would you want to buy it first of all? All right. They're so defunct, so in debt. I don't know. Would they want to buy just the assets? Are there certain assets that they want to buy? Do they want to go quasi Michael Saylor? And does Ripple want to buy I see that sniff. I know I'm stupid, man. I am. Yeah, Razor XRP. Yeah, I saw that sniff after I said it. I was like, Jesus Christ, man, I really suck. But think about that. Would they want to be buying now these assets to pennies at the dollar? Because think, in these bankruptcy proceedings, you could put some low bids in to cover some of the costs for their liabilities. And the bankruptcy judge is going to sit there and approve it or not. XRP could be buying assets for even pennies to the pennies that we're seeing. They're not going to be paying full price for these assets. So even though XRP is in 37 cents, 38 cents, anyone that is going to be buying any assets from Celsius like XRP, they're not paying 38 cents a piece for it. That is not how that is going to go. They are going to buy these things for pennies to the dollar. That's why Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX have been out there, because they know anything that they buy now, they're getting it for pennies to the dollar on their books. Yeah, Razor P XRP. I know, Sniff, dude. I suck, man, today. Let's see. XRP for me says, hi, Klaus, and cheers. Hi, XRP. Love the emoji or emoticon. I always get those two messed up. My son makes fun of me. Any thoughts on the Songbird Network upcoming PNG token ad? Honestly, I don't know enough about it, and definitely I'll cheers you real quick. But I don't know enough about it to say anything. And seriously, that's kind of like my one big thing out there is a lot of content creators out there. They'll just, someone ask him a question like, yeah, I'm just going to, oh, it's great. I love it. I'm just not involved. No, I'm not going to blow smoke up your butt. I'm going to be real with you, tell the truth. I don't know enough about it even to say something without risking sounding stupid on live stream. So thank you, though, for asking how I am doing. But I do not know enough on the Songbird Network to even take an educated jab at it. Patriot says, I'm looking to do a bike packing trip from North Europe to South Europe. Ooh, doing some wild camping and some nights in the Patriot says, what countries are you traveling through? Like, are you going to be doing like block countries on South? Let me know. I've spent a lot of time in Europe, so let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear where you're going. Let's see. Twitch Radio says, how do you take your burgers? I got some ground sirloin burgers on. I take mine medium rare, bloody as all hell. How about that? And XRP for me says, thank you for your honesty. No, of course. I've just been so turned off by the influencer space lately. Like I've really been turned off by it. I've been turned off by just seeing people just shill stuff and not being honest. And I've taken some heat because I've been negative a couple times here lately regarding stellar lumens. I've been very public about it, and people have been like, oh, how can you be negative about them? I got to have opinions, and not everyone does things 100% right. So yeah, you'll the more you get to know me, XRP, for me, I tell the truth. I mean, it's the easiest way to not get caught lying is to just tell the truth. Then you don't have to worry about the story that you're telling. You just have to tell the truth, your story. Kind of cool. Let's see. Sniff says, I used to hear people shill Hex and was like, oh my God, shut up about Hex. Then one day I decided to research it, and man, it's my favorite hold. And that's kind of the thing is Sniff, that's part of the problem with crypto out there. There's so many projects to research. And the big problem with crypto that I have right now is how companies are being funded. And just real quick, do a lot of you out there understand how crypto is being funded? And this ties into why I struggle a little bit with crypto is, and this gets to Sniff's comment, is when it comes to researching crypto, you don't have a P&L to work off of. Yeah, you got blockchain and you got a lot of good analytics, but you don't have a P&L. You don't have like declarations of income. You don't have any of that stuff. So a lot of metrics that you use in the stock markets, right? Like, okay, any company that's out in the stock market posts out a P&L. I could go through that P&L line by line and tell you if they are a good company or not, just based on their P&L, especially if you give me like a couple, I'd say give me like a couple years worth of P&Ls. And I could just go through them and I could tell you, ups and downs, their demand and all that kind of stuff. In the crypto market, though, we don't have that. We don't have these P&Ls. And that's kind of why when the SEC could sit there and go, hey, you know what? We could designate these as securities. That wouldn't be such a bad thing because there would be a lot of paperwork and a lot of forms that these companies would fill out that would give us an insight to their true financial positions. So that's kind of one of the things out there, when it comes to like the whole SEC overreach. I do think we need to see more of what these companies are doing. I think we need to see their spending. I personally think, just throwing it out there, all right? I personally think that any of the cryptos that you're invested in, I believe you have the right to see what they're spending their money on a monthly basis because you're investing in them. So if you're investing in them, I believe it's their due diligence to you, their right, okay, as a company to you to show you what are they doing with your money. This is how we're using your money in a P&L. We don't see that with crypto. And I do find that as a big problem, a really big problem with the crypto space. So getting the SEC to come in and say, hey, crypto's a security would fix that problem. Just throwing it out there would fix that problem. Twitch Radio says, have you looked into Algorand at all? Just curious on what you think about that project. My only thing with Algo would be another overpromise, underdeliver. It seems to be common. It seems to be really common. The other problem I have with Algorand is what are they going to do that's going to revolutionize Web3? In fact, Rob320IS just came in. And Rob, are you a BMW owner, sir? Rob, let me know if you're a BMW owner. All right. I used to have a Z3 and a 528i. So I'm a big BMW guy. But yeah. Let me know, Rob, if you're a BMW guy. I'm going to tell you a funny BMW joke because I used to own a couple BMWs, so like I get to make fun of myself too. Let's see. So Rob320IS says, how much actual money is in the system? Oh, yeah. Okay, so did you guys out there catch the story I did about the brothers in Texas that faked the actual TVL on Solana? Did any of you guys see the video? So I did a video, all right, about, and I see your question, Sniff. I just don't want to lose my place here. I'll get to you. But I did a video a few days ago about Solana. There were these two brothers, all right? They built a layer 2 protocol that what happened was they got dollars to be counted multiple times. So let's pretend you were looking at like a liquidity pool and you're like, oh, there's 6 million in that liquidity pool. There wasn't even anything close to that. There was, they say and estimate 75% of it was fake. 75% of the total value locked in Solana was fake, everyone. So what these two brothers did was they built this layer 2 protocol that would count the same dollar multiple times. So here's the dollar. I now count it. I see you don't pay. Oh, count it again. Oh, count it again. Count it again. Count. You count the same dollar multiple times. So all of a sudden now this $1 looks like it's $10. Well, you do that through a whole bunch of wallets, a whole bunch of protocols. You can really bump up that TVL into some fake stuff. So Rob320IS asked, how much actual money is in the system? I would guess, conservatively speaking, less than half than what's really representative. What's really representative, less than half. My honest guess right now for total value locked, and I don't even know if I would call it a guess based on how many projects I've learned that are scams, how many of them that lie about their holdings, I would say that you would have probably 50 to 75% of what you see is not there. Take the TVL of a project you're into, multiply it by like 0.4. 0.3, 0.4, and that'll give you a pretty good idea of what I think the real TVL in that project is. All right, so Patriotus gets back to us on his bike trekking trip. Starting from Scandinavia. Ooh, hold on. I'm trying to read it. I screwed up here. Oh, come on, hold on. I want to read your thing about Scandinavia. Sorry, give me 1 second here. So Patriots is doing a biking trip starting from Scandinavia, going Baltic countries, then Poland, Slovakia, Croatia, Bosnia, Montenegro, Albania, and Greece. Ooh, interesting. Going on the east side of the wall, I see. Very cool. You got to let us know how that trip goes. I love trips like that. Been to Europe a bunch of times. Germany, Switzerland, Austria. Love it. Love the area. Sniff says, hey, Klaus, do you think the Georgia Guidestones were created by the Rosicrucians? Here's the problem, Sniff. For those of you that don't know, I live super, super close to the Guidestones. I even did a video about the Georgia Guidestones. Give me a second here. I did a video about the Georgia Guidestones right here. I did a drone video on it. So anyways, the Georgia Guidestones, I live super, super, super close to them, okay? Here's the thing. There was supposed to be a time capsule underneath there. They never even found the time capsule, which means the whole time capsule thing was a lie. I'm wondering, Sniff, I swear to God, the more I research this, the more I wonder if it was just some rich dude just like trolling people, man. Like, it just like someone that had money that was like real eccentric and was like, these are my beliefs, screw it. I mean, think about it. Look where the land is. This is super cheap land, dude. All right. So if you were going to troll people, if you were going to post your declaration and you had a ton of money, you wouldn't pick somewhere in the middle of Boo-Foo, Georgia. You'd pick somewhere a little bit more prestigious to pop it off. So no, I don't think they were created by the Rosicrucians. I do not think so. I honestly wonder if these were some local rich people that built something out here, either to drive popularity to their area, or some rich guy was like, hey, where can I put a monument? You know, this is my secret. This is my troll to the world, or this is my belief, but I only can afford land in the middle of nowhere in Georgia. And I'm telling you, this is in like the middle of nowhere. There is like nothing here. So that's just my take on the Guidestones. Let's see, seriously, this is going to be, other than we know that we doing. Oh yeah, okay, sorry. Used to oldies. Joel, picking crypto projects is tough. I have mine, and time will tell which ones actually make it and which ones don't. XLM and Cardano are main holdings. There are others, but those are the two projects I like. And Twitch is back. Sniff really digs into those big clues. Sniff is he's pretty interesting character, man. Sniff's a pretty cool. Let's see. Sniff says, I heard a former Scientologist say it was L. Ron Hubbard. You know, the thing is, I don't know, Sniff, have you ever been to the Guidestones, man? Let me know if you've been to the Guidestones in the comments. And here's why. It's the area of where it's at. If you were going to do something, right? And if you were going to do something that was going to be like a statement to the world, and I don't know how many of you guys know what the Georgia Guidestones are, where they talk about, you know, the 10, you know, when you rebuild society, stuff like that. Well, anyways, long story short, the idea behind it's in the middle of nowhere. So if you were going to build something like that, wouldn't you want to build it somewhere with more of a significance? See, the big problem is that the Guidestones are literally nowhere. So what kind of impact do the Guidestones really have on people? I mean, I get it. People go to see it, but you know how many more people go to see stuff in Illinois, New York, California? Yeah, it's kind of the point. So I don't know, man, on the Guidestones. A funny joke for you, Sniff. You can't go to them because they are gone. They tore them down. Yes, that's the other thing. They tore them down super, super fast. So I'm wondering if this whole thing with the Guidestones was just a whole lot more crap. I really do, because the land there was so cheap, and they bought it in the 70s. And the reason they used those Guidestones, and it wasn't expensive to do, because that material that they found is native to that area. So there's a certain type of stone there in Georgia, type of granite in that area. So they sourced the materials locally. They sourced materials locally. They bought cheap land. They didn't put a time capsule in when they said they did. I don't know. Like it kind of just makes me wonder just if they just kind of built it up to be more than it was. That just kind of makes me wonder about that just a little bit. But I don't know. You guys, let me know. What are your thoughts on that? If any of you guys have done any of the Guidestone stuff, I'd be very interested. John Niner says, laugh out loud. I'm planning a trip to Buddy Holly's crash site with my son. Dude, John, where is Buddy Holly's crash site? And that's actually really cool. Are you guys using GPS coordinates? Are you using other people's trails? What are you using to get there? I'm a huge hiker, man. I love hiking. I love doing stuff like that, just dumb stuff like that. Let me know, man. That is something that I really want to hear. But we've got some big things here, and then I'm going to pause this video. The big thing that I'm worried about right now, all right, what I worried right now was something massive coming to Web 3, something coming for mass adoption to Web 3. Consumer finance will not be the same again. Ooh, and I'm wheezing a little bit. Is Polygon Matic, all right? Are they really going to deliver on this? Or are they going to have just a usual product like everything else in Web3? And the other thing I want to talk to you all about is, okay, I want to talk about Web3. And I want to talk about Web 2 because a lot of people out there are like, oh, Web 3 is going to fix the problems of Web 2. The more I do research on it, the more I realize the problem with Web 3 is still the same problem with Web 2. Web 2 got totally destroyed. Think about your AOL chats, your Yahoo, all that kind of stuff. Bots destroyed it. MySpace was destroyed by bots. Twitter right now, oh my gosh, okay, so I could go on this Polygon Matic post. Do you know how many of those things, the messages on here, the messages are fake? Like, it's tons of them. Twitter has a huge bot problem. So Web 2 totally destroyed by bots, spam, scams, and schemes. That's the same issue that we're having right now with Web 3 products. The same exact issue. Part of the biggest problem that is holding crypto mass adoption back is it's not solving a real problem. It's just making a new version of the same problem we had before. What project out there on crypto is really doing a good job of keeping scams off of its chain? And not that they're doing a good job, but they can actually say, hey, we're preventing this, and this. Like, that's what I'm saying. How many people out there really doing that? We're not seeing that. Let's see. Razor XRP says spent 10 minutes glazing. Interesting. Glazing. What kind of glazing would you be doing? Please share that with the group. Sniff says, I'm sure it was some millionaire billionaire who read a ton of Alice Bailey and Helena Blavatsky. Maybe it's Neuralink coming to Web3. That's the whole thing. What is, okay, so Stellar makes sending money cheap, quick, and easy around the world, right? With their program. The problem is that doesn't really fix a problem. It more improves it, okay? Instead of it costing this much to send money, now it only costs this much to send money, okay? So it's not necessarily fixing the problem. It's a better mousetrap, but it's not fixing the problem. I think that's what we're looking for with Web3 is how is Web3 going to fix things? Okay, let's talk about the internet, all right? Oh my God, John Niner. Okay, I'm going to get to John Niner's thing here real quick because I know, okay. Yeah, all right, this is funny. Okay, so anyways, Web3, right? And we're talking about problems with Web3. And the biggest ones, you know, when I start looking at like Stellar and all that, the problem is obviously them and their information, you know, the same thing, the Pokemon card problem, all right? That's the big problem with Web3. But Web2, the internet. Now let's just talk about the internet. Dial-up. Do you guys out there remember using dial-up? For any of the viewers that are my age, a little bit older, just a smidge younger, do you guys remember dial-up? Do you remember wanting to look at the pornog on dial-up? And when you wanted to look at the chick, remember those lines that would go across and it would like slowly download her picture, and then right before you got to the tatas, things would just like stop and you're like, oh my God, come on. This is like horrible. I want to see some. Well, now when cable internet came out, now there was none of that. You would now be able to just like stream movies like that. That fixed a problem. That fixed a real problem. The advancement from the dial-up internet, DSL didn't really fix it. It made it better, right? So when I look at Web3, I'm almost like Web3 is the DSL to the Web2, which is dial-up. But broadband now, like when broadband and cable internet came out, all right? Think about what that did to the game, right? Think of what it did to businesses, right? If businesses wanted to send huge files, you remember what a lot of us would do back in the day? And I'm going to share a cool story with you guys. A lot of us back in the day would send files super late at night when we knew the bandwidth wouldn't be like diminished from a lot of people using it. Businesses would have emails where we would send like big files out. We would have it like scheduled so you could schedule it at night so you could send large files when the bandwidth was better. Like that's how bad it was back in the day. So Web3, I love Web3. But the problem with Web3 is like a DSL to a dial-up. You still have the same problems. Yeah, it's better, it's faster, but it's not broadband. It's not gigabyte cable internet. All right, that's my big thing with Web3. I don't think Web3, or I don't think we've seen anything yet built on Web3 that really fixes a problem yet. All right, just kind of what I was saying. Let's see. Razor XRP got a good laugh out of that. I like that. So John Niner says Clear Lake, Iowa. You guys want to see something really cool? All right, Clear Lake, Iowa. We are going to go to the maps. And the reason why Clear Lake, Iowa is I used to live in Iowa. I actually used to live in Iowa and South Dakota. I lived very close to this. So thank you very much, John Niner, for sharing that, because I actually used to live very, very close to Clear Lake. I used to live super close to Clear Lake, Iowa. Virtual Unknown says you'll never get rid of the scams. You're right. You will never get rid of the scams. But the problem and the irony of the scams found on the Stellar chain is you have the same name for multiple assets. It's literally like if I go to the untrained eye, here, you have to pick the right Pokemon card. You either get a card or you lose all your money. That's really rough. They need to fix that. They definitely need to fix that, because the scams and schemers can really tackle that kind of stuff. And John Niner, let me know, are you close to Clear Lake, Iowa? Like, do you live in that area? Because I grew up in Illinois, but I lived in Iowa for a few years, and I lived in South Dakota. So I've lived in a lot of places because of work. But yeah, let me know. Let's see, Mr. Jeeves. Oh, God, Mr. Jeeves. That's so bad. I can't actually say a few names of some of the sites that I would use. But Joseph was loving it, too. The pain. Yes, the pain of dial. And so that's what I'm saying. I think Web 2 is like dial-up. It had its problems, but it would work, right? It would work, okay? Would you eventually see it download to the Magumbos? Yes, of course. But you might have to hit the refresh button and then watch it all again. Be like, I already saw the top of her forehead. I already know what her nose looks like. Don't care. Mouth, blah, blah, blah. Web 3, which is supposed to like revolutionize social, social media and stuff like that and the internet. Web 3 is I don't know, dial-up? I mean, Web 3 just still has a lot of problems, and I haven't seen a product yet. I really haven't, and I'm trying not to sneeze. Sorry. Ooh. Ooh, sorry about that, Ever. But Web 3 just hasn't solved a big problem yet, and I think that's kind of where I'm sitting on this whole thing right now. And so just like when I look at Polygon Matic's tweet saying that the consumer finance will not be the same again, I'm going to hold you to this. Because liar, liar, pants on fire, if a month from now, 2 months from now, you guys have not changed the game, then I'm going to be like, well, dude, you're just a hype machine. I really think that's the biggest problem with crypto. Over-promising, under-delivering. Cardano, everyone out there knows I'm a Cardano fan. How many times have they delayed the Vasil hard fork? Ethereum, how many times have they delayed that? What about Alex Mashinsky out there? We're not a bank, we're better than a bank. We can do way better than banks. We have access to your money. He was over-promising and way under-delivered. So I think that is the big problem with crypto. Class, you got my torrent files. That's funny. Bitcoin equals AOL. Way to say it, Funky Fresh, and thank you for chiming in. Funky Fresh, there's a gentleman watching this stream right now. His name is Virtual Unknown. I kid you not, he tells me all the time that Bitcoin is like Yahoo and AOL. He tells me all the time about that. So Virtual, thank you much, because now I use that and I see other people use that. Oh my God, Rob 320IS. And Rob, you never told me if the 320IS is because you're a BMW driver, so I could tell you a BMW joke. But Rob 320IS chimes in and says, Hype Man equals Justin Sun. Oh my God, yes. Justin Sun, like the biggest douchebag in crypto. Like, oh, is he horrible? Did you ever see his video where he got drunk and he was saying how Tron TRX is just a shitcoin? Oh my God, horrible, horrible video. Oh, insert name says Cedar Falls. Oh my gosh. So we got some Cedar Falls people here. Well, I used to do projects out in Cedar Rapids. Not Cedar Falls, but Cedar Rapids. Joseph N.A. says, everything is under-delivering in the speculative market. Flip hasn't been switched. Crypto hasn't seen a utility market yet. And Joseph, I'm with you on that. I think that's the thing. Crypto right now is in a post-speculative boom market. We're not at where crypto is utility yet. All right? Okay, cool. Stellar made it cheaper. All right? All right. Rob, I own 2 BMWs, okay? So I'm only allowed to make fun of you because I used to own 2 BMWs, all right? My favorite car is a 95 M3. Just throwing it out there. But got a joke for all of you BMW owners out there. And I used to be one, so I get to make fun of myself. All right. What's the difference between a BMW and a cactus? Give you guys a few seconds while I cheer real quick. Again, what is the difference between a BMW and a cactus? Mm-hmm. Well, with the BMW, the prick is on the inside. Oh, see, there you go. Some BMW here. I'm a big BMW fan, so I just like to rip on BMW when I can. But yeah, so there you go. Anyways, everything is under delivering. I agree. I agree everything is under delivering right now. I think that is a huge problem. Oh, Twitch Radio says now Bitcoin is like ASC2 machine code. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Twitch also chimes in saying they're trying to push out utility as fast as they can, but they're making too many mistakes, honestly. If I was a lot, these companies would slow down a little bit. No, it's not they both hurt. No. Gosh, no, it's not they both hurt. But you could use that one too. Yeah, Sniff is going to steal that joke. Yeah, I thought you'd like that one, Sniff. But the Web3 thing is this. It's pretty easy when you want to look at Web3, okay? Because we're talking about Polygon right now, and we're talking about just the crap. What is with all of these people overpromising? Is Web3 and is crypto going to fade because no one is going to solve anything yet? I mean, think about it. Your front runners of Web3 right now are like people like Justin Sun. People like Justin Sun. Here we go. Hide user. Bam. Thank you. All right. So I do kind of wonder about that. I do wonder. You think your leaders of Web3, your Alex Mashinsky's, your Justin Suns, what about the guy that was the head of Luna? Right? He was another one. I mean, total complete douchebag. It was horrible. Yeah, I saw that one, Sniff. I know when I was in military school, a lot of the kids on my team were Mexican, and they had the best freaking jokes ever. They had like the best, and they had the best gringo jokes ever because I can't tell a lot of them. Amazing. I love the kids playing with them. Let's see. Algorithm heard us talking about dial-up porn, sent the bot spammers. Yeah, okay. That's my point. All right. So look at the spam that I just dealt with in the chat right now. All right. That's a big problem. That problem is happening on Twitter. That problem is happening on XLM, on Stellar's chain. What about all the dust attacks on Stellar's chain? They are all over the friggin' place. All over the friggin' place. So I think there are some big fundamental problems with, oh, damn it, John Niner. All right, I'm going to take you guys down a little bit of memory lane here. John Niner says, I'm in Joliet, Illinois. See, what John doesn't know is I know exactly where Joliet is. I even have friends in Joliet, John Niner. But John Niner says, I'm in Joliet, Illinois. Clear Lake, Ohio is it's Clear Lake. I thought it was Clear Lake, Iowa. Oh, my God. Clear Lake, Ohio. I thought it was Iowa. My God, dude. It's approximately 3 way. I'm a fan because I grew up with my dad playing that great music all the time. Well, John Niner, I used to live out that way in Joliet. I used to be a Will County person. Just throwing that out there for you, John Niner. All right. I grew up in the western suburbs, and my wife actually born and raised in Bridgeport, Chicago. Rough gal from a rough side. Oh, she's not a rough gal. She's a nice gal. She can be rough, but she's born on the rough side of town. Funky Fresh says the ETH hard fork. That's a big problem. The ETH hard fork is going to split a lot of people. Now, USDT even came out and showed support for the new the new change for Ethereum. They said they're not going to support the old version, which is good to see. The stable coins coming out to support them. But you're still going to see some of the people want the old stuff. Let's see. So Twitch Radio chimes in. My jokes are too out of here for the YouTube channel, so I'll keep my mouth shut. Well said, sir. Well said. I think I've made at least 25 cents in just dusting attacks alone in the last 6 months. And that's part of the other problem with Stellar's chain, too. It's great because it's cheap, right? The utility of it is cheap. To move money, the XLM part, is super cheap. But because it's super cheap, you can do dusting attacks left and right. You can do all sorts of shenanigans left and right for cheap, right? For cheap, okay? Think of why robocalls were constantly used and robo text messages were constantly used, because it was cheap to do. It's the same problem with Stellar's chain. Because it's cheap, there's a lot of scams that are actually found on the chain. Let's see, any other questions that you guys have? We've done a bunch of stories today. Ripple Labs interested in Celsius. Polygon, are they going to overpromise and underdeliver? Mark Cuban and Voyager, lawsuits are now starting to happen for big time influencers out there for shilling crap without telling people that they are endorsed by him. Big problem here. Hotbit, yep, we have another platform that halts trading. This was started because of government saying, hey, you have a bad employee here doing some naughty things with their money. So Hotbit came out and said, you are going to shut everything. Well, they said, we're going to shut everything down. So now 3+ months later, the crypto contagion is still spreading. We also talked some CPI data, inflation stuff, everyone. Yes, inflation is lower than what it was the previous month, but it is still way high. For those of you that want to see how high inflation is, I have the 1-year chart up on the screen. I'm going to go to 5 years and look how big this is right here. That's 5 years. Let's go to 10. Oh, that's scary. 25. See, even in 25 years, we haven't had that rate of inflation like with what we are seeing now. Yes, BMW, break my wallet. Very true, John. Break my wallet. My Z3, the parts were friggin' expensive for that thing. That damn thing was super expensive. Rob320 says trust lines. Yes, trust lines. That's a big issue because everyone's trying to connect trust lines. Oh, I hate that. Establishing trust. And when you watch the book, you could see like the removal of trust lines all the time. It is super huge. Twist Radio says, class, you want me to teach you how to gator wrestle next time you're down by the bay? You know where I used to live. I'll even show you how to do it to a croc. Well, thank you, Twitch. Show us a little bit of your fun. Sniff says, you guys got to listen to Richard Hart's most recent interviews. He did 3 of them about 3 weeks ago, various channels. I have not seen them, Twitch. I have not. Sniff, I have not seen them. Sorry, not Twitch. Twitch says, I hold a little bit of Stellar, but I use Algorand as my main transport for sending things off-chain or just as a HODL account. There's problems with every chain out there. I'm not knocking on anyone, but there's problems with every chain. And what we've seen is people try to exploit these problems all the time. We also got CFTC. Oh, hey there. A lot of the pornog trying to find their way in, huh? See what happens when I start mentioning Magumbos? Like the bots out there start seeing my pornog posts, man. But the CFTC chairman claims the agency is ready for the possibility of regulating crypto. We will learn who gets to regulate crypto and in what aspect here, like what broad range, when the Biden executive order kind of kicks into play. Now, remember, when he did the original executive order, he said, hey, I'm giving everyone 6 months, all right? Giving everyone 6 months to give me the information so we can make the best decision. We also have the CFTC going after someone for a $12 million Bitcoin Ponzi scheme. We're going to have to wait just a little bit longer to find out, did they go after him because of the Bitcoin issue or was it more the Ponzi scheme issue, right? So the CFTC has been quiet compared to the SEC. The SEC has definitely been overreaching. And Rays, let us know, what do you disagree with? Rob320IS says, I won't watch it unless he's extra douchey as normal. Ray says, there's no problem with XRPL. It's boring because it works. And boring is good. XRPL, boring is good. Trust me, Stellar, boring is good. All right? The problem is, though, is I think the problem is boring is good for institutions. Because institutions like boring. All right? They like things that move slow, things that are more predictable. When we start seeing the institutions getting more into crypto, that's when boring is going to be great. So just kind of think that concept. Oh, yes. Yeah, John Niner. Yeah, see, Clear Lake, Iowa is the correct location. Sorry, I didn't catch the dictation. Yeah, I'm telling you, John, I used to live like really close to Clear Lake, Iowa. Does anyone know about Lake City Quiet Pills? Anyone know about Lake City Quiet Pills? What they are, what the whole story was? I actually lived in the town where the bank was, where these people got the money to do the hit. That was messed up. Joseph N.A. says, gotta go, been fun, keep up the good work. Joseph, congratulations again. Get some sleep when you can, because you know in the future you're not going to be getting much sleep, sir. Virtual, how are you doing, my good man? And we're going to go a little bit longer here on the stream. We're going to probably go to like 8:50, maybe 9 o'clock, somewhere around there, Eastern Standard Time. So we got another 15, 20 minutes, maybe something like that, of the live stream. So if you got questions, comments, hit us up down below. Also, what have we been talking about? Ooh, tornado cash. Yes, money tumbling, everyone, and that's a big problem. So liquidity pools, automated market makers, a lot of those things out there are used for some very, very naughty things. Don't think that a lot of money in liquidity pools is good money. And I don't mean good money, bad money, like it's fake money. No, trust me, it's real money. It wasn't achieved in the best of ways. A lot of money is dirty money in crypto. That's where a lot of the TVL comes in, is dirty, dirty money. Oh, Virtual says go White Sox. Yes, I haven't even watched the game. They're playing tonight. I got to watch the game. Twitch also chimes in, I wonder what would happen if you actually played some stripper music. Well, I think the fact that I just said the word stripper, I'm probably going to get attacked by more bots. What I should do is be like, no, actually I can't say that because then I would get bots of that too. So I don't want to do that. But yes, definitely everyone go White Sox. And let's do a real quick cheers here. And while I got you guys watching, is there anything I could do at a channel to be better about the way I present my material? Is there anything you guys can suggest right now in order for me to improve the quality of content, to improve your viewership experience? Is the sound quality good? Is the video quality good? Not going to say Molly's or any of that. But is the sound quality good? Is the editing clean enough for you all? Let me know in the comments because I want to keep making this better. And cheers back to you, Virtual. I appreciate it. Virtual, I did not tell you this, but my daughter moved yesterday, actually. So that was a hard day for me. So I've just been busy this week helping her pack up her stuff. It's real sad. I just had my second kid move out. So I'm struggling a little bit right now because, I'm going to be an empty nester here soon. I only have one kid left, and this kid is going to be a junior in high school. Yeah. So I am in some trouble. Oh yeah, cut off the, yeah, sorry about that. Let me swap that out. Yeah, my bad on that. I think that's going to work. Let me know if that one works. Yeah, I saw it. All right, so anyways, what else do you guys all want to talk about, everyone? I am open up for anything. All of my brother thought you were going to say one thing you always say, nefarious activities. He thinks it's funny to take a shot every time you say it. Sniff says, my daughter joined the Air Force and got married. Yeah, okay, so my oldest daughter, and thank you for sharing, Sniff. My oldest daughter actually moved back to where we used to live. Not close, but about an hour away from where we used to live out west. So I had my oldest daughter move out. She's now engaged. She's pregnant. I'm going to be a grandfather. I haven't told anyone publicly up until now, but I'm going to be a grandfather. It is something friggin' cool. And gosh, a lot of bots here hitting us. But so now my second daughter, right, she just graduated high school. My second daughter now is actually going to be moving out west as well. So in the last year, I've had 2 kids move out. So I'm kind of getting on the way to the empty nesters. Yeah, Virtual says bots are back. I can't even say what the site was. I was going to make a joke. Sniff says congrats. Yeah, congrats on being a grandfather. But it was the funniest thing. So I was in DC hanging out when my daughter called me. I was messed up. I mean, I was having fun. I was in DC hanging out, My daughter called me. It was 11 something at night in DC. And she's like, hey, Klaus, I got something to tell you. My kids all call me Klaus, by the way. She's like, I got something to tell you. I already knew what it was, man. I already knew. I already friggin' knew. I was like, okay, but I'll let her have it. So anyways, my daughter told me, and then, they were obviously engaged already for that time. So, yep, I'm going to be a grandfather, and my oldest daughter is going to be getting married, and my middle child just moved out of the house yesterday. So I have been super busy trying to deal with all the fun changes that come into life. And the best part is I now have an extra room in the house. So not only do I have my studio room, I have the extra room in the house. I'm probably going to give that to my wife. I don't know, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Or I'll take it over and maybe I'll make it my baseball card room. I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll figure it out. Ray's XRP says, got to collab. Yeah, definitely got to hit me up, man. Definitely got to hit me up. And thank you, Virtual. I appreciate that. Twitch says everything's going good, man. Looks good, sounds good, good information, good company, everything's good. Yeah, I think the problem that a lot of us are seeing, and we're gonna, you know what we're gonna do, guys? We're gonna go up to Google Trends. I can't even type, you guys. Let's go to Google Trends super fast. All right, give me 1 second here. Oh, hold on. We're gonna go to Google Trends here because I wanna, and actually I'll fix the bar thing. Yeah, I have to fix it. Let me just flip this up a little bit here. I'll fix all this for the next stream. But anyways, I want to go on to Google Trends. The reason I want to go on to Google Trends is we're going to put a few words in, all right? I want to show you guys a few things because one of the things that we have to kind of understand, like with the crypto winter, is the popularity of things, all right? So let's put crypto in. Look at crypto as a whole popularity-wise. Virtual, move in with the X room. I also need a room for my train set. I haven't built it yet. I also need a train set room. Jeez, gosh, you know? God. But anyways, let's look at popularity for crypto, okay? The peak search for crypto, and this is going to talk about like mass adoption. Peak search of crypto, end of October, beginning of November. So right now, we are only at 23, 24, 25% of the volume of searches. That's it. 25%. So of the big oomph that we had popularity-wise in crypto in October and November, there's only 25% of the people right now searching that data. That is very, very scary. Let's do this. Let's pick a more recent term. All right, let's pick Web3. All right, Web3. See, now Web3 is a little bit different here, all right? They had their peak more in December, and their volume now is 40% of what it used to be. So we have more people interested in Web3, less people interested in crypto. Now, let's go to the topics that we care about. And I'm telling you guys, start doing this on your own for topics you're interested in, and you'll start seeing the trends. Now, look at XRP. Even though XRP has been in the news with their case, their biggest search volumes were November to December. All right? These right here, you can see XRP, a third of the volume that they had in November, December. Now let's change that and let's make it XLM. Let's see how XLM looks compared to that. Now XLM, same thing in that November time. They are now at 31%, big spike. Look at that, a big jump up in popularity in XLM here as of recent. So always a good idea to go to Google Trends, start looking at some organic data, seeing the popularity of stuff. Because I look at it, I'm like, well, wait a minute, views are down. Is the content bad, or are people just getting burnt out of crypto? Are people selling and getting out of the space? Sniff says, there's another YouTuber named GDLT who shouted you out during his live stream last month. Well, that's freaking cool. I'd love seeing stories like that. If anyone out there knows of any other streamers that, you know, would want to do stuff, let me know. I'd be very interested in hanging out, talking crypto with other streamers out there. Mighty Tone says, appreciate your willingness to answer questions. I'll gladly answer questions. I'm here to try to help everyone out, to take my years of experience and try to share that stuff with you. Twitch Radio says, gotta run, man, dinner time. Twitch, I'll be texting you later. I got a lot of vacuuming and cleaning to do tonight now that I have a spare room, so I will text you more later. And same thing, virtual, if you need me, hit me up, man, on the phone. But yeah, Sniff, I did not hear about that, that the other YouTuber shouted me out. I think that's pretty cool. I tend to be pretty quiet. I don't try to hype stuff. I don't try to do anything like that. I just try to show people just the news, and I try to bring both things good and bad, you know? And to give you guys an example of the good and bad, all right, is look at Stellar. Am I glad that they have 7.12 million wallets? Yeah, I'm happy about that. But their active accounts are down. All right, so I'm always going to cut it to you straight. I'm going to tell you the pros, and I'm going to tell you the cons of what is going on. So that is how we do it. Any other questions, comments, concerns you guys got? I'm going to have a quick drink here, wet my whistle. All right, and like I said, we'll go to like 8:55. So you guys got your last couple minutes for your questions out there. This has been a fun stream. Virtual says, maybe I can move into the extra room with inflation. I may need a room soon. I would charge you, though, Virtual. I'd be like, you know what? It's, free water, free utilities. I've got really good high-speed internet, man, like really good high-speed internet. Like, yeah, I'm going to have to charge you. See, I have to make up for inflation. So, and the best part is I'd be charging you even though like I have like well water and like my utilities are dirt cheap and stuff. So I'd be making money on you, dude. But no, it's weird, man. I'm going to have an empty room. I'm an empty house. Like it's weird. Like my life last year was 3 kids, 3 dogs, and a wife, right? My life right now, 1 kid in my house, 2 dogs, and a wife. So my life is definitely taking a very, very dramatic change when it comes to number of inhabitants and who is here. So yeah, I've got a lot of fun shit to do with that coming up in the near future. Some of the other big things that I want to talk about though is inflation. All right, I want to end it with a little bit of inflation talk. And the reason I want to end it with inflation talk has to do with this. Even though inflation data comes down, right, like CPI data starts coming down, the secondary effect is unemployment is going to go up. The reason unemployment goes up is because during times of inflation, companies are going to cut their costs. They're going to cut their labor. That's going to be the thing they cut first is labor. Labor gets cut, unemployment goes up. As unemployment goes up, that means what? There is less money floating around in the market because we have more people unemployed. And people will not be getting now that $600 plus, I think it was $600 or something like that, or whatever the boost was. I think it was $600. God, that was such a long time ago. But yeah, I think it was $600 when they did that program. People aren't going to be getting that. They're going to be getting what their state maximum is for their income level. So you're going to have unemployment going way up here soon. And you're going to start seeing less money available on the retail side going into crypto. That would be the perfect opportunity for when banks and big money want to make the switch as unemployment goes up. And that's your golden nugget for the night, everyone. Unemployment right now is the highest it's been since November of 2021. Now, remember, a lot of businesses were shutting down in November 2021 because that was right after all the PPP money was starting to dry out, right? All the stimmy checks and all that were drying out. Inflation really started getting gross. Companies started laying off people. So now we're seeing that unemployment just rock right back up again. 2 weeks in a row of rising unemployment claims, leading to unemployment being as high as it was 9 months ago. So yes, you're going to see inflation numbers come down, but you're now going to start seeing unemployment numbers start going up. As unemployment goes up, the amount of available money to go into crypto and all the other fun stuff out there definitely sorry, I didn't mean to hit the mic, everyone. Definitely starts going down. I think we're going to see more pain in the crypto verse. So when we look at this chart of Google Trends up on the screen, and when we look at this and we put crypto in, I think you're going to see a continued decline, unfortunately, in the popularity of crypto as unemployment goes up. I think we've got quite a bit of time or quite a bit of pain left dealing with this stuff because not only do we have crypto contagion, right? We have people coming out there with money, your Celsiuses, your 3 Arrows, your Babel, all those companies, right? I just did another one, Hotbit, right? That was the latest one that froze their trading activities. You're going to have a lot more crypto contagion stuff happening. You're going to have a lot more crypto hot potato going on. You're going to have a lot more scams and schemes going on. You have quite a bit of stuff that you have to deal with. And the biggest one that you're going to deal with after inflation, all right? After inflation gets under control, the biggest thing that you're going to have to deal with is going to be unemployment. All right. Unemployment is going to be the big factor. So you know how like the markets move every time inflation data is released? The market a few days before kind of sells off and stuff like that because they're like, oh, God, inflation data is coming. The market is going to start pivoting from inflation and they're going to be putting more weight on those unemployment numbers come up. And the thing is, you're going to see unemployment numbers go up through the election. It is going to be a mess of an election year this year, everyone. You're going to have high inflation. They're not going to fix this by November. Let's be real here. They're not getting this down to the 5s, the 3s, or 2s by November. This is going to take some time. So inflation's going to be high for the election. You're also going to have unemployment going up for the election. You're going to have food costs constantly going up for the election. So yes, is there some relief at the pumps? Yeah, but $3 a gallon is still way too much than what we should be paying. But this election time is going to be a rough one, and a lot of it is going to deal with finances. All right, it is 8:50 right now. White Sox are still tied in the 6th. Go Sox. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to watch the Sox game. As soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to watch the Sox game. But all right, last call, everyone. Have your drinks. Last call for questions. Let me know what you got. I will gladly answer them. So cheers to everyone. All right, Scott Keene comes in. Hey, Klaus. When or if things go back to normal, what price could XLM potentially reach? Well, let's do this. Let's first just look at the charts for XLM. Let's just look at like big, broad picture crap, okay? Historically speaking, the high was, what was it, 94, 96 cents, something like that, all right? And that was back in the day when the big boom happened, all right? Back here. Now, when we start looking at these two movements right here, there was some time in between. You can see the patterns look very similar. Do you see that? That's crazy. Now, we didn't go as low as we did this previous one, but similar. When things go back to normal, without anything crazy happening in the world, let's just pretend kind of normal on a normal trajectory. If things go back to normal for Stellar, market's kind of flowing natural. Stellar's natural price most likely seems to be in that 30-cent mark when world economic factors are normal, all right, are normal. The problem we got, though, is that if the SEC XRP case wins, the whole market is going to shoot up, which could totally blow that out of the water. The other thing is, do we have any wild card projects that we could see from Stellar? The thing is, until utility happens in a grand scale, and I mean a lot of people using this, Scott, until utility happens, where we start seeing more people jumping onto the crypto train, right? Not just like us, like trading crypto, like having our Weebles or Coinbase accounts, but more people that actually send money back and forth to each other with crypto. So instead of you guys like giving me a donation, I'm sorry, I'm pointing to my screen, not that you guys can see it, but instead of you guys, like doing donations now like that, you're like, oh, I'm just gonna wallet you some XLM, right? Like until we start seeing the movement of money on the wallet system more like we see like in a debit card or phone system, I don't think you'll see the massive blow up in price. Now, if we start seeing Web3 mass adoption happening, sky's the limit. If we start seeing institutional money rolling in to XLM, sky is the limit. Virtual's got a really good theory out there that says they're not going to move big money into XRP, XLM, any of those until the majority of retail people are out of it, right? They're scared out of it. They've been beaten up price-wise. And so Virtual, for you specifically, that's why I like looking at Google Trends, because Google Trends tells me what is the big public sentiment. All right. When I put crypto in, you could see that it is definitely down in terms of popularity for search results. Now, granted, a lot of people probably already know what the heck crypto is, so they don't have to search it again. But in terms of new people searching it, the new energy that comes in, look, the hype for crypto was right around the market price height for Bitcoin, for Ethereum. It is not coincidental. It is the number of people that are broadly interested in something, generally broadly interested in something, drives demand, drives want, drives that energy, that hotness to it. Oh God, I'll probably get spam bots now that I said hotness, So Virtual, this is what I track in the background. I look at data like this to see when are the popularities of crypto picking up. I'll also pick specific projects. All right, like, so for instance, do you know how Ethereum is going through that merge? Or not the merge, they're splitting. Yeah, I guess they call it the merge. See, now when Ethereum announced their date, look at their popularity. And then back down again. So each coin, each token has their own different metric of popularity of people. What about inflation? I bet you inflation right now as a topic is through the roof, right? Because people are like, oh crap, what inflation? Let's take a look. Bam, there you go, money, dollar bills, y'all. So what you got to do is you got to start breaking down this data into organic stuff too. Try to find the organic patches of data. They're going to tell you what is the overall market thinking. Because the problem we have, all right, and I'm going to give you guys all this nugget of knowledge here at the end. The problem that all of us have here in this room is that we are bullish on crypto. We do not represent the public. Plain and simple. We do not represent the public. Right? We're bullish on crypto. The majority of the public is not bullish on crypto. So you always got to do your due diligence, right? And you got to start looking at how other people are viewing crypto. You have to put yourself in the shoes of people that aren't bullish like us. The majority of Wall Street right now is down on crypto. Very different than the majority of the viewers for this channel. The viewers for this channel, the majority of us are hot on crypto. God, I'm probably going to get more spam bots. But the majority of the finance public is not hot on crypto. So as you base your expectations, and this goes to Scott's question, Scott, as we base this like our expectations, right, and make a baseline of our expectations, our baseline has to do on the sentiment of people. All right? Our baseline has to look at, hey, when these spikes happened, all right, with XRP, this was at the height of people wanting it. Right? Retail market. We haven't seen yet on the U.S. institutional side yet, and institutional globally, most of it, because most people don't have regulations yet. We have yet to see what the institutional money brings. Institutions got way more money than us, guys. Way freaking more money than us. And someone brought up Sorban. Eric West, great job bringing up Sorban. I'm going to talk about that. It's something you have to keep in mind. All the movement that we've seen on these charts, I've got XRP on the screen, now I have XLM on the screen. All of this movement in price now has been based on the majority of being retail money. Retail money doesn't move markets unless you do what, everyone? You host like an AMC GameStop movement where you focus all of the buyers into that. Otherwise, you just kind of have like, you don't have enough power. And think about what they had to do. You had to get the whole world in on trading the whole AMC GameStop thing to make that work. So, yeah, the charts, the prices we're seeing, that's retail money. Retail money is nothing compared to institutional money. And the more I talk to Virtual, the more he pounds it into my head that, hey, the reason you're not seeing big moves yet is they need to squeeze more retail people out when the institutional level money comes in. And the more we look at the charts, the more we look at the peaks and the valleys, this is all retail based. You can see inflation is picking up. People searching crypto is down. The markets are down. Views are down. People out there. Okay. Your favorite content creators out there. God, I better not be one of them. Jesus. My God, I hope I'm not one of them. But think of your content creators out there that are in the finance or crypto sector. Have you noticed that a lot of them are really slowing down their videos? They're not pumping out nearly as much content anymore. Some of the biggest channels out there that were covering XLM, XRP were doing like 2, 3, 4, 5 videos a day. Now they're doing just their 1 or 2 a day. So you've even seen on like the content creator side of it, people really scaling back their production of videos, right? The market itself is just generally cooling down. Eric West chimes in, and thank you, Eric, for saying this. Eric West chimes in, Sorban looks to be huge to bring Stellar more users and in turn more XLM usage, and with how easy smart contracts are for the use and interoperability with other blockchains. Okay, Eric, hear me out here, all right? I don't know how much you watch this stream. Here's the problem I got with Sorban, all right? And it's not a problem with Sorban. Trust me, it's not a problem with Sorban itself. The problem I have with Sorban is exactly the same problem I have up on the screen right now with Polygon Matic. Something massive is coming to accelerate the adoption of Web3. Consumer finance will not be the same again. Is Sorban going to overpromise and underdeliver? Okay, as investors, right? So again, Eric, think about this, right? And that's how you become like better and better at your craft, by putting yourself in other people's shoes so that you eliminate your own biases of perception. Does the general public look at Sorban and go, okay, cool, but what does it do? Okay, cool, but other people have smart contracts, so now what? That's what we have to start looking at, right? Is this something that's going to be overpromised and underdelivered? As investors, right? Think about it. We did it, and now I got to admit, guys, I got to admit, and gals, if there's any ladies on the stream, I got to admit, I honestly thought that MoneyGram was going to have a bigger impact to the story of Stellar. No, not at all. I honestly, I'll tell you that right now. I thought MoneyGram was going to. That was maybe my own perception kind of dysmorphing what the expectation was there. Like in my eyes, maybe I was over promising and under delivering my expectation of MoneyGram and Stellar. So I think that's something all of us have to do right here, is that we have to put this all ever in there. Sniff says, whenever a profound statement like that is said, it's usually a nothing burger. And that's what I worry about, you know? So Sniff, that's been my big thing here. And I think that's also a big problem with XLM. They're gonna need to make partnerships that move them. They're gonna need to make partnerships that move them. And Roaring Wookie chiming in, what's up? And I get the idea of in time. I do, trust me, I get the idea of in time. But the problem is the expectations of Web3 is that we're developing solutions right now, right? That's the Globe's expectation. The Globe is out there going, hey, Web3, what are you giving us? What are you giving us, man? What are you giving us? And Web3 is like, oh, consumer finance will not be the same again. 3 months later, we're like, dude, consumer finance is still the same. You didn't do shit. Web3, man, overpromising and underdelivering. Scott Keen comes in, and Tom Keen is the Keen that I'm into. If any of you guys know who Tom Keen is. Scott Keen says, thanks. I don't see MoneyGram making a difference to XLM and for the unbanked because MoneyGram, like Western Union, is designed to transfer money to unbanked, or am I missing something? Scott, here's my issue with the MoneyGram solution, all right? Let's pretend MoneyGram is the greatest thing since sliced bread, all right? How good of a program is it if A, people don't know how to use it, and B, people don't know about it? Okay, all of us out here, all right, all of us that are watching this, we generally have been blessed with a decent school system. We're generally blessed with having a decent amount of intellect. Developing countries do not have the school systems that we do in first world countries. They also don't have the same, I guess, what I want to say is fundamental educational system. Like how money works, supply and demand, stuff that's not taught in school that probably should be taught in school. We want those people to use a very technical product. We want people that believe in cash to now say, hey, don't believe in cash, but now the value is in here somewhere. Well, it's not in here, it's somewhere out there. I think that's the big problem with Web3 on the Stellar, or not Web3, but with Stellar's programs. Their programs are great, but the people that it's made for is the right audience, but can the right audience use a technical product? Will people in Africa that have limited education, where these products are designed for, the unbanked and underbanked, will they have a great understanding? Will they go on to Stellar Expert and go in and look at USDC, or will they go on the wallet and will they look and go, oh, well, wait a minute, it's this USDC, or no, it's this one that says MoneyGram? There's language barriers. Yes, language barriers. So forget, even put it equal intellect, all right? I speak French, all right? For those of you who don't know, I speak French, all right? My French, though, is not as good as my French is really good, but it is not as good as my English. So if I were to do a business meeting, I would not do it in French, because what if I screwed up a word? What if I screwed up a conjugation? What if I screwed up a number? That's the same concept here. There's a language barrier to what's going on. There's a cultural barrier to what's going on. So I think the big problem, in addition to the ones I've shared, the big problem too is the product that they've built going to match its intended audience and the abilities of that intended audience? And I'm not saying that people in developing nations have less intellect than us. But what I am going to tell you is that their school systems are not as good. What I will also tell you is that there's a lot of things education-wise outside of school systems that people that don't have the same monetary means that we do don't have that grasp to it. Okay, there is, data is also language. Thank you, Roaring Wookie. Awesome. Thank you for saying that. Data is also language. So there's problems with it. That's why ISO 20022 is so big. Let's see. Valdir Demora says, what's your thoughts on coins being pegged to precious metals? That's not true. Not true. There is no coin right there on, like, not precious metal. No. What would be the, and the reason why? Now, when you see like XRP is gold, XLM is silver, XDC is copper, you have to be very cautious here. All right. when a lot of people are making these assumptions that XRP is gold, XLM is silver, a lot of people are assuming it means it's backed by gold is backed by silver. That is not going to happen. A lot of people, what they mean to say is XRP is going to be gold is in first place. All right, XLM is going to be silver as second place. You're going to see it backed by metals. No. Oh, don't even get me started on Pax Gold. Yeah, don't even get me started on Pax Gold. But that's the biggest problem with these programs, is that the tech for them is so strong that there's a cultural barrier, a language barrier, an educational barrier, a development barrier. There's a lot of barriers. The same can be said as this. All right, let's do this. Let's take any of us here. Let's throw ourselves into one of these communities in Africa that these programs are intended to, out in the middle of the bush. We couldn't survive there, could we? We wouldn't know what the hell to do. We wouldn't know how the hell to do anything there. We would stumble. So even though we have superior, I don't want to say superior, even though we have, a superior educational system, right? And we have all those goodies, right? Superior funding, through our developed countries and all that. We couldn't handle their world culturally. We couldn't adapt to it culturally. Very few of us could. The same thing applies with them trying to use a cultural program like this. So I think a lot of the problem is the market that this is made for is just, it's there, but culturally you got to get people into it. Okay, any monetary system out there has never lasted. You're like, whoa, Klaus, what are you talking about? Think of everything out there monetarily has never lasted. The dollar used to be backed by gold. All right? And that's the whole thing. Like, hey, Violet, good day to you too from Australia. Good day, sir. Or no, Violet. Sorry, good day, Violet. Sorry, I do not have glasses on. But anyways, the concept behind all this is that the markets might not be there. In fact, even the idea of data speed is a luxury. Okay, so there is a person on this channel. All right. It's the gentleman. He is from Africa. He's a big crypto guy. He's involved in a crypto project, Onyx. Okay. The only chance he gets to watch my videos, all right, that I produce for all you guys, the only time he gets to watch them is when he goes to work, because it's the only place that has high speed enough internet to watch videos. So now that's not even a language barrier. That's not even not even having access to high speed internet. Like, that sucks. So I think there's going to be a problem. I really do. I think the problem is if you have a chain like Stellar and you have a whole bunch of products called USDC, there's people that have fallen victim to these scams. Whether they're preyed on emotionally, all that kind of stuff. And thank you, Violet. Thank you very much. I got to put where the hell are my glasses? I usually have them with me. Yeah, I should definitely wear my glasses so I could see what everyone's things look like. Josh Vela says, Klaus, do you know how everyone keeps talking about the digital dollar? Do you think something along the lines, say the digital quarter, digital penny, sort of like digital change? Well, at that point, Josh, you would do just digital everything. Because seriously, what's the difference between a dollar? Like, if you're going to go digital dollar, don't get digital dollar confused with digital change. Digital dollar doesn't mean physical, like $1. Digital dollar means the money in digitized form. So whether you want to send me $1.37 in a digital dollar, USDC, or whatever type of, CBDC that they do, the dollar itself is representative of all denominations. There would be no need for denominations because you would be able to send any specific amount of money you want. And Sniff is right. The dollar is already digital. If you don't believe me, read your bank's statement of how much money they actually have in holding versus how much money they have lent out versus how much money they make on money that is out. I got to make sure I say that right. Roaring Wookie chimes in. Why can't people understand the value of what needs to be said and not hand out participation medals? I think the issue with that, Roaring Wookie, is that as a culture, we're losing a lot of our fundamentals. We're losing a lot of our foundation, honestly. And foundations are flawed, all right? I've told people on the stream plenty of times. My family, the majority of my family lives in Germany, all right? Germany's history has some flaws in it, all right? If any of you out there watch Family Guy, they say, what happened between 1939 and 1945? We're on vacation. Nah. So, yeah, history has its flaws, but the concept is that the participation medals, we don't hold people accountable. We didn't hold banks accountable. What about Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac? We didn't hold people. We handed participation trophies are giving people money for no reason. That's the monetary version of participation trophies, right? What about all the stimmy checks that went to people that shouldn't have gotten them? Those are participation trophies in a way. So I like where you guys are going with this. Josh chimes in and says, I see, thank you very much. No problem, Josh. I got you, man. So yeah, don't be afraid of the digital dollar in terms of digital cents, digital everything. Money is mostly digitized. The movement to the digital dollar, all that means is that instead of printing things and printing it that way, there's going to be a digitized version that represents each dollar. All right. So what the gold standard, come on, Eric. My name is Klaus. I got your back, man. But the concept with the digital dollar and the gold back stuff, okay, how it worked when gold was backed by the dollar was this. If they wanted to put more dollars into circulation, they had to get more gold to back it up with, right? So you increase the amount of dollars in circulation, you have to increase the amount of gold in your holdings. Once the United States said, hey, gold doesn't matter to us anymore, they then could print dollar to whatever without any backing whatsoever. So I do see it as an issue because whether you have a digital dollar, a paper dollar, or whatever, if it's not backed by anything, you're playing with fire in the long run. And no country, no government, no money has stood the test of time. Everything has failed. Everything has failed. In fact, even the United States has gone through how many revisions? Look at Europe. I used to travel to Europe all the time. All right. I mean, I used to travel to Europe all the time, and I traveled before the wall was taken down. I even traveled before everything was in the euro. I still remember my francs and, my marks, my German marks and all that, my Deutschmarks, Now all that's gone. So even a currency I use, the Deutschmark, I use the Deutschmark like all the time whenever I traveled. Love the Deutschmark. Oh my God. So now the concept there, though, is that with the Deutschmark, that currency is not there anymore. Countries, governments don't last. Look at the Middle East. They have constant turnover of governments. Africa is constantly resetting their currencies because of hyperinflation. Nothing lasts. Nothing lasts at all. Let's see. Sniff says, if someone calls law enforcement and lies to them saying you have hostages, SWAT will bust in, no questions. Oh, yeah, totally true. Totally true with that. And Sniff also says they can take your land with eminent domain. That's what I worry about with crypto. Remember when Biden did his executive order, Sniff? And one of the first things he mentioned was national security. That's where eminent domain can come into play, especially with the utility designation. That worries me. Violet Adams says, what does it mean XLM being inflationary and XRP is deflationary? I don't think either are true. Inflationary means there's going to be more coming up over time. Deflationary, less over time. I don't think either are true. Neither hold true. Now, you can use them as a tool to fight inflation, but not inflationary. All right? And you're going to have people that are going to technically fight me on this, but I want you to show me the proof of either. Not the proof on hypothetical paper, but I want you to show me the proof in practicality. Roaring Rookie says, gold will be here long after metals were here before, and they will be here after. Yeah, I agree. And that's the other problem, too. Precious metals have not spiked. So inflation has gone up, and yet we haven't seen the items that usually go up during inflation go up, which is a real weird thing. Very weird thing. Scott Keane says, in the UK, we have the Bristol pound, which is bought through pounds, which can only be sent locally to businesses. It'd be great if there was cryptocurrency. Yeah, so that you didn't have to screw around with all that money. But money changes. Governments change. Populations change. People changes. And with all the problems that we're having globally, that's why there's a lot of people out there that believe in the global reset, because everything changes. And we fight it all the time. Yeah. if the bad Klaus takes over things, not the good Klaus, but if the bad Klaus gets his way, it won't matter. Yeah, with precious metals, with Apocalypse. I'm here. Yeah, no, Violet, that's okay. So here's the problem. All right, a lot of people out there that report on crypto don't have any background with finance, whether it's educational or applicational experience. Luckily, I dealt with a lot of finance stuff. I dealt a lot with operation stuff. I can read you P&Ls upside down, inside and out. I can break things down a little bit easier because I've seen like how it's been used, how the money's been used, how the functionality works. So you just have to watch like some of these people that come out there. They're really good at it, but maybe they don't have all the experience. So they just become like a parrot, right? They say something that they hear from someone else. So, but no, thank you for answering that. All right. What we're going to do right now is, I know I keep saying it a million times over. Last question here. And thank you, Roaring Wookie. I appreciate that. And Roaring Wookie, here's the thing. With crypto, if something is, okay, so someone asked earlier, all right, and I'm going to tie this into what you said, Roaring Wookie. Someone said earlier that if crypto was backed by these precious metals, we'd be good. Okay, cool. All right, cool. But then how much of a pain in the butt would it be? Because as the values of crypto are crazy, right? I mean, they're crazy up and down. So then what are you going to do? Are you going to keep buying and selling like gold or silver to match? And then that's the other thing. If you're backing, and this is the weird part, all right, everyone? Here's the weird part. If you're backing it with gold, the price of gold itself goes up and down. Oh, God, I hit the mic again. Sorry, everyone. That's a huge problem. So with the dollar, right, you had the dollar, which was here, which was a stable item, and not stable in value, but stable item. Hey, we print $1 million, we have $1 million worth of gold in the bank. We print $2 million, we have $2 million of gold. If gold goes down in price, we have to buy more gold to match that. Pretty simple. Problem with crypto is crypto goes up and down price dramatically. Gold doesn't move that much. So you'd have crypto to this, trying to match it with gold. The weird thing is, it's not like the effects of the US dollar were going crazy like this. Crypto goes like this. So to be backed by gold, to be backed by a precious metal, ooh, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's going to be tough. Roaring Wookie says, I have to get back to work on my RSW later, Klaus. I'll come back and check out the rest of the video later, my friend. And thank you, Roaring Wookie, for that. I totally appreciate it. So yes, last questions. Do it now. We're going to do a cheers, and then we're going to start shutting it down. And what I'm going to do at the end of this stream, I'll shut my camera feed down, but I will leave my chat up. I'll hang out with you guys on chat for a few minutes if you're cool with that. You know, I can do that. I can hang out and chat a little bit. My dogs, I can hear them. They're like wrestling outside the screen. So let's do that. I'm going to shut off my camera. I'm going to leave the chat up right here. I'm going to chat with you guys all just a little bit. So let me take care of this. My camera. Oh, hey, no. There we go. Now my camera is off. I'm going to stay up on here. I'm going to chat with you guys. Mic is turning off. Thank you all for watching. And yes, I'm still here. I'm just typing away. My throat's a little bit roasted right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hang out with you guys a little bit on the chat. My throat is just killing right now. But yeah, I'll hang out with you guys on the chat a little bit. But I am going to shut my mic down just so I can save my voice a little bit.